So by popular demand, we are going to be doing the Roland Martin coverage of the election. Black votes matter. Gee, I wonder what that's an allusion to. I'm not overly fond of this guy. That is a euphemism. I really avidly dislike this guy. I think he's a hateful bigot, to be honest with you. And therefore, I am going to be potentially chiming in with some maybe what could be considered objectionable statements about him and his guests, but hopefully not. Maybe they're going to keep it together. I doubt it. Let's see what happens. And shout out to Based Life Guru for putting the original compilation together.
And here we go.
All right, folks, welcome to our Election Night coverage 2024 right here on the Black Star Network. This is a live look at Howard University on the yard there where Vice President Kamala Harris will speak tonight. Our hope is that she will be speaking as the president-elect of the United States of America. Polls are closing all across the country.
I certainly hope
there have been some issues.
The opposite.
We'll get to that in a second. We got, of course, a packed house here in our Black Star Network studios on Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. We got a number of our panelists here. You often see these folks on the show, so we got them assembled here. We got a combination of our coverage plus an election watch party as well. And so glad to have all of you here. I talked about some issues we've already seen. Russia has been calling in bomb threats in Georgia, specifically as it relates to black precincts.
Over the last few hours, there were continued threats in Georgia, 17 polling precincts to be exact. So, we at the NAACP sounded the alarm after we heard from elected officials that this was happening, and it was targeted at black precincts in Fulton County, targeted at black precincts in DeKalb County, but it was a targeted attempt by actors outside the United States. I believe the Secretary of State identified it as Russian interference. We still don't know which bad actors it was, but it was definitely targeted at predominantly black precincts with the hope of suppressing the vote. So
they were specifically targeting black precincts.
We are always oppressed. Everything goes against us. Russia, Russia, Russia.
And so we know Russia was helping Donald Trump in 2016. And
we know that for a fact.
So they are scared to death of a massive black turnout today for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, as the NAACP, we're nonpartisan, but we are very political, and we want to make sure the political power of black people is felt in this state. As it goes across the state, it's called the Black Belt. And as the Black Belt goes the rest of the state. And if the turnout is as high as I think it is, you will see Georgia not only turn blue, because it didn't turn blue the first time, it turned black, and I believe it will stay black.
Oh, we got to go racial. Keep it racial, homie.
11 to 12 o'clock. I see some people prematurely trying to grade where Georgia is. If you don't have the Metro and the Black Belt reporting, you don't know what Georgia's going to do. It turned late. I believe it'll turn late again.
So long as we can get all those uncreased, pre-signed ballots in without any signature verification to be counted. Those special ones that we've got stored away.
We're also paying attention to the state of Iowa. Over the weekend, of course, the poll dropped showing that Vice President Kamala Harris was plus 3 points against Donald Trump in Iowa. So there are multiple pathways to her to get to 207.
Ooh, she's going to look good.
That's when she can declare victory. And so we're paying attention to all of that to understand what is going on. Now, Jonathan Martin with Politico earlier tweeted that his sources were saying that the suburban women outside of Philadelphia do what they do. They're definitely going to win Pennsylvania. Also,
definitely
reports of massive Latino turnout in Pennsylvania as well. Now, remember, 5 Puerto Ricans live in Pennsylvania. And that comment at that Donald Trump hate fest at Madison Square Garden.
It was a hate fest, huh?
A number of those folks.
It's so funny how they are able to call anything that is white, Republican, hateful, but they don't recognize what emanates from their hearts and their mouths on a continual basis.
And so we're seeing Latino voters, not just Puerto Ricans, really speak about what took place. And so we're watching that. And also keep in mind, some places will not be finished tabulating tonight. Remember, you've got overseas ballots they're watching out as for. So what you're talking about there, if you have states that are very close, those ballots, provisional ballots, are going to be key as well. Now, so what you've seen is a candidate really grow and build over the last 2 weeks of the campaign. And you compare that to Donald Trump, where they got more evil and crazy. Last night, we had J.D. Vance literally calling Vice President Harris trash. And so after they already criticized Puerto Rico, then they actually made that comment there. So, I mean, you've seen a whole lot of drama come out of that campaign. And already I saw a tweet earlier, which I had to laugh at because Donald Trump is already alleging that there are vote issues in Pennsylvania. Now, and then here's what's crazy. A Republican
Here's what's crazy.
smack him down.
I had to smack him down.
They weren't saying that. He even said law enforcement is on the way. When you are already talking about folks cheating, that means you're losing. And so
we are losing. Donald Trump is definitely going to lose this election. You are the brightest bulb on the face of the planet.
We'll be, again, watching all of that.
That's what it's like. It's a party here. I mean, they were playing the wobble earlier.
Well, that means she's going to win.
Back it up. Let me tell you, if I back it up, I'm going to fall off this riser. There are so many people here. The mood is full of excitement here. And, you know, really, it's a perfect night. There is not a cloud in the sky. The temperature couldn't be better.
It was a perfect night, I agree.
Day and night for a U.S. presidential election. And earlier we saw some students coming onto campus, presumably to be part of the revelry that is just starting to happen. Behind me, staffers getting in position. And of course, security has this place locked down for the vice president. Not only that, there is a massive media presence here. We have local journalists, we have national journalists, reporters and television producers from around the world. The Harris team, of course, hoping that this will be an historic night for her, for the campaign. And she was told that basically it's going to come together.
It absolutely was a historic night as we learned just how poorly a campaign was run that raised and spent $1.5 billion, 3x their opponent.
However, it comes together. But it has been, like I said, an excellent mood. People have been happy to help with everything. There have been a couple of little...
Can't wait for later. Stick around for that.
Journalists, but so far everyone extremely helpful, extremely happy.
Last 72 hours, and you can really tell the change in how the vice president, how she's walked, how she's talked. You can see it in her tone, in her face, in terms of the rising confidence the closer we got to this election.
Well, so far, the numbers that we've seen over the last week and a half with early voting across the country has been really good for Kamala Harris.
You see all the people in that room? One of them is going to cry on camera. I'm praying for it.
Not only that, but it was very good today to see the number of young people on college campuses in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania, in North Carolina, who are standing in lines. And unfortunately, some of these lines are 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, but they're staying in line. There's lots of pizza, there's lots of donuts. Celebrities are showing up, DJs are showing up because they are excited about these first-time voters who are going to be crucial tonight.
He's not made a single misstep as it pertains to including people that are not a point or normally a part of our profile when we talk about who are our coalition. And we see the work already. Even though the numbers are early, we see in states that we are expected to win easily, and those that we are expected to win narrowly, we see her outperforming the other guy, the orange guy on the other side.
Can't even say his name.
Didn't do in 2020.
I can say Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is a dope. Kamala Harris is stupid. Kamala Harris can't complete a sentence. What I say is true. Y'all can't even say Donald Trump's name.
We also see younger black men in Georgia, for instance. Black men are the youngest voting population right now. That is a guaranteed victory for us if we continue on this path. The idea that
I guarantee a victory here.
Young black men that lean heavily Democratic are already cashing votes, or votes have already been counted. That means that we're just waiting on our base to show up, and we know damn well we're going to slide through.
We're going to slide through.
Like they've always shown up, but you got to make sure that you are.
My mom is essentially a grammarian. At a funeral, she will correct the person giving the eulogy's grammar. I would hate if she were to watch this video.
Spending the time, make sure that you are hearing them and that you are honoring the request that's in that space. So I'm excited about this moment, that folks are finally starting to actually pay attention to what brothers are asking for, and that we're going to continue to make sure that we're moving forward, both up and down the ticket, because...
And I was messing with Brittany over there. She's like, yes. She's like, my generation is voting. And I literally said, Brittany, by damn time.
I'm Gen Z, and we're fired up. We sure are. On TikTok this past week, Donald Trump's Access Hollywood tape was trending, and you're talking about a generation of people who were 10 years old when this came out. So we've never heard the Grab 'em tape in full. We didn't know his rhetoric, but now we're hearing it, and we're being exposed, and we're asking our parents, and especially the fathers in the community, how could you vote for someone who talks like this? What if he was talking about your daughter? What if he was talking about your wife? So we're ready. We're ready. We're engaged now.
That hate rally, someone called it Hate Palooza at Madison Square Garden.
Hate Palooza, so full of hatred.
That Texas comedian, a so-called comedian, that joke about Puerto Rico.
A lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay. All right.
Yeah, they really reacted well to that.
Of Latinos.
Yeah, I know, because referencing the fact that Puerto Rico actually has a trash problem on the island, overfilling the landfills, because that one joke is absolutely going to get people to ignore the fact that their grocery bills have gone up, that they can't afford anything, that they feel like they've been mandated to take a vaccine that doesn't even work at threat of their job. Yeah, it's going to override all that, despite the fact that it was a joke not made by Donald Trump and a joke about a real problem.
Bad Bunny, Jennifer Lopez, and Ricky Martin, probably the trilogy of Puerto Rican musical acts.
Mark Anthony was blasting at every concert. Fat Joe was going off.
All on one page, united.
Fat Joe was going off.
Coming out swinging heavily for Vice President Harris at Hatechella. I mean, they took it so far at Hatechella to have, Byron Donalds walk out to Dixie. So, but the thing is this, for some of us, it's been a decade of fighting against Donald Trump's racism, against Donald Trump's hatred. For me, people
all he
say,
is hate,
look,
racist.
I voted against Donald Trump 3 times, I voted against him 6 times. So I voted against him 3 times in the primaries. And so for me, this has been a fight from June 2015, and hopefully this is the last time we have to deal with this.
But you highlighted
it will be, because they'll be out in 4 years.
And Puerto Ricans. Over the last couple of weeks, the Trump administration, they've been basically committing political suicide. And as someone who lives in the state, Central, South Florida in particular, Haitians and Puerto Ricans are, I say upset, but I could use another word, but we're on television right now. I don't want to get myself in trouble. But it has had an impact. And you can see it in my home state of Pennsylvania. We're hearing the Puerto Ricans, and I'm from Philadelphia. You're hearing Puerto Ricans in Philadelphia have turned out record numbers. But you're right, Roland, in terms of what they did, it really did have an impact. My wife's family is Jamaican. So when they talked about Haitians.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Jamaicans and all the other individuals from the Caribbean are quite upset. And so once again, you've galvanized a population that was more likely to vote for those who are, low information voters we talk about a lot. Those folks will make sure they come out and vote, because the blatant racism was clear.
Totally. Everything is racist, because we can just turn any word into racism. Let's just take an example. The color blue. So you say blue, you ignore the far end of the spectrum, like black. You want to ignore black people. Blue is a racism. This is the logic of these horrendous people.
So I think that Madison Square Garden, the comedian, and some of the other comments after that made it clear who those comments were directed.
Before I go to the next poll, it is a question of when you start looking at these different states, Erica, it comes down to infrastructure. What is your ground game? Yeah. In Pennsylvania, for instance, there was a massive ground game for the vice president. She spent a lot of time there yesterday, hitting 3 cities, rallying. They knocked on almost 1 million doors in Pennsylvania. And at the end of the day, that's how elections are won. It's absolute ground game.
Yeah. So it was very smart of the
She gonna win.
to understand that they had to really penetrate the ground game. I heard a number earlier.
The brown game.
The
brown game.
Were knocked over the past weekend. That's the type of infrastructure that we need. Monique talked about Win with Black Women. Roland, you had Win with Black Men. all of these coalitions that were week after week engaging people, texting people, letting people know how they can get engaged. The way that we win campaigns is letting people know how they can be involved. People are waiting to be activated. And so understanding that Pennsylvania, Michigan, and the slow state of Wisconsin and Milwaukee, understanding that those are places that really need to have the touch, need to be touched, not just once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7
We've got the touch.
is something
We've got the power.
On the part of the Harris Walz campaign, and I agree with you, Dr. Carr, is now we're going to see if all of the work that we have done that has been done by those unsung heroes will actually get us to 270 first.
It's also, I have been yelling and screaming for years, telling people that California is not going to look the same in 2028. As a Black person living in Southern California, the one thing that you know is don't go to Orange County. I'm not kidding.
Don't go to Orange County. It's Orange Man. They're going to be racist against you.
In North Hollywood, and I lived in Hollywood for over 20 years, and North Hollywood is right over the freeway. It's 10 minutes away. So you're talking about white supremacists 10 minutes away from Hollywood.
Oh, everybody's a white supremacist to you.
Right? And it wasn't just white folks. It was also Latino folks involved. You know,
Latino white supremacists. Yep. You just fold everybody in under the same umbrella.
In that major arrest. And over the years, I've seen it. There are some strongholds that are anti-democratic outside of Orange County, and it's just
anybody who disagrees with us is anti-democratic.
I will never forget one day I was at the gym. I will never forget this. Right up the street from my house on Sunset Boulevard, this man came into the gym dressed in MAGA from head to toe.
Oh my God!
The street from West Hollywood.
Up the street from West Hollywood. How dare he?
Out of there, but my point being,
we ran out of there because we were scared by MAGA. If you put that on the front of your T-shirt, that means that you're itching for a fight. And us being the peaceful people of the world, we just said, vamoose, we're out of there. We ran as fast as we could.
In 2020, started to see people inching into areas that were once Democratic strongholds, right? And you have the top north of California that are Republican. A lot of the Silicon Valley folks, right? You have Orange County, and then you have folks meeting in the middle. California will not look the same in 2028, mark my words. And none of this is a guarantee, right? Even the canvassing that I did in North Carolina, I encountered, Black Trumpers, and they told me what they needed to tell me to my face just to get rid of me. Right. So we don't know how much of the people
what
on the
racist thing did they tell you? Were they Black white supremacists? Were, like Larry Elder, they the black face of white supremacy?
Telling us the truth just to get rid of us. So none of this is a guarantee, and but I will say the work has been done. Yes, it has. The sweat equity has been done.
Yes, it has. Amen, sister. So amen.
What will it look like?
But I also marijuana smoke, and people hiding their blunts, and I'm like, no. I'm here to talk to you.
Right.
How are you? How are you doing? What's life look like? And I'm telling you, these brothers, these women are like, oh my gosh, somebody like you is coming to talk to me.
Somebody like you?
Talk to you because you're making the difference, not just in my life, but in our collective lives. When those people got engaged, to see men, to see women who were in the trap, jumping up and down, going to the Secretary of State's website, right there on the spot, seeing that they actually were registered to vote, and then actually going to go and vote. Those are the types of things that need to be happening, not just things that Republicans always do. Is not only do they aspire, and they are masters of their craft because they aspire to continue to be masters as they were in the slave trade.
Yes, because it was the Republicans who got rid of slavery under Abraham Lincoln. They were the masters of the slave trade. The Democrats were supporting the slave trade, advocating for it. The Republicans against it, but the Republicans are the masters of the slave trade, she claims. Brilliance. What a brilliantly educated woman that we have here. Thank goodness that we have the 1619 Project propagandizing people in her direction. This false history that they are conveying to their watchers. It's rather sickening.
They are the masters of pivoting. So to your point, what we are seeing now, it'll just roll up and look like something very different. But Democrats don't have to have celebrities, and shout out to all the celebrities, but there does not have to be all of this over the top engagement. If we are talking to our number one and number two, that being Black women and Black men, that's the number one.
That's number one and number two.
Democratic Party. If we're at,
and that is Republicans understand how to form narratives.
Talk about it, Roland.
Second of all,
Talk about it, Roland. Preach. Preach.
A very sophisticated Republican media ecosystem.
Yes.
So
Yes. I mean, you're talking about CNN and MSDNC that pervade all the lies and the talking points about Hunter Biden's laptop, about the Russian collusion hoax, about Donald Trump saying that there was going to be a bloodbath if he doesn't win, referring to the auto industry and economics in general, and they tried to portray it as literally violence on the streets, as if it was the 2020 BLM riots or something crazy like that. Oh, y'all were never held accountable for that because the media covered for you along with the Democrat Uniparty.
Hold tight 1 second. Hold on. Pennsylvania, folks. The vote counting center in Pennsylvania has been evacuated due to a bomb threat.
God.
That's what's going on. And again,
I feel like this is
Democrats never do anything like that. No, sir.
They desperately want Donald Trump to win.
It's all Russia. Russia.
Bomb threats in multiple states is happening across the board. So
there's a thing on Clubhouse, winning Clubhouse instead of winning in real life. For a lot of them, it's winning conservative media rather than winning in real life.
Except this is real life.
Yeah.
These goddamn white supremacists.
Everybody's a goddamn white supremacist.
Of this experiment.
What about the black supremacists that y'all are? I bet you that 9 out of 10 of them are black supremacists. I don't know. I'm probably a white supremacist to them because I speak out against their beliefs and the propaganda that they're spewing.
The abortion amendment in Florida has failed.
Yeah.
In Florida, they're leaving in place their 6-week ban, and of course,
did it give you a percentage? Because they had to meet a super. Well, no, it had to be 6% to pass, but maybe a majority voted for it. In other words,
58.4.
Exactly. Wow. There it is.
Wow. God darn white supremacists.
Understand this.
So
Understand it. Understand it. If you're against the killing of black babies in the womb, that makes you a white supremacist because I want these people to be able to have healthy children rather than abort them, rather than kill the innocent little creature. That makes me a white supremacist because I want black lives to prosper. But because I'm against their political propaganda, that makes me a white supremacist.
5% of the ballot-ins, there were 10,935 votes cast, and 6.3 million yes. Again, 58.4%, no, 41.7%.
And that, Roland, thank you, because therein lies the end of this funky ass settler place. Let me explain.
Funky ass settler place.
That is the logic of the Electoral College.
Hold tight 1 second. Also, another race, folks. We now have our 5th black female United States senator in history.
Wow.
So,
Oh, she black. I'm gonna clap too. I'm gonna clap. She black. She on my team. She black. I'm gonna clap. Oh, imagine if I did that when a white person would. Oh, Whitey got elected. Whitey got elected.
So,
right.
Donald Trump is mentally ill. He's got all these problems. He's convicted felon. Of course, he could vote in Florida because in New York, convicted felons who are not in jail can vote. This country is faced with the problem that we've known all along. This is white supremacy.
It's white supremacy. Everything is white supremacy.
Racial, multi-class, good-feeling, competent. I mean, I read something today that it shocked me, and I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know this. The only person running on the top of a national ticket who has served in all 3 branches of government is Kamala Harris. This shouldn't even be close. It
shouldn't even be close. She black, so you gotta vote for her because she black, because she got swept up by, she went on her knees and advanced in her positions, and now if she ain't elected, it's white supremacy.
Sexual assaulting piece of garbage.
Right.
And I'm gonna use that word tonight the way it should be used. The point is this: the fact that this is close just scared the shit out of us.
Since
I can't wait for this to continue.
With the same people. Make no mistake, it is the same people, and it's a systemic failure by thinking, oh, they're just fringe element, on the fringe, and they're just conspiracy theorists. No, they have never. They have never been dealt with. They have had carte blanche to own as many weapons as they want, to have as much.
Oh no, y'all want to take away our right to defend ourselves. I understand. That way BLM can do more damage to the local businesses because That's their duty. In other words, you are the part of the Democrat machine that is attempting to destroy America.
Property as they want. They have had carte blanche in this country
Carte blanche.
since the founding of this country, and I'm tired of it. My family has been here before the founding of America.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on, preach,
and
sister.
it has been the same people.
Right.
It is enough is enough.
Yep, the same people from before the founding of the nation, the exact same people alive today. George Washington's parents, his parents, way back when, are still alive, the same exact people. I'm going to take y'all literally.
Right. And that which is why I have rightfully called him on this network who he is. He's the son of a Klansman. And I'm glad that New York, unfortunately, got to see in the 21st century at Madison Square Garden, the son of a Klansman produced a Klan rally in New York. Not
Everybody's a Klansman.
Not in Alabama, not in South Carolina, not in North Carolina, right there in New York. This is what we have always been up against.
But I mean, the tragedy of it is it's not disqualifying.
Right.
Exactly.
The sin of a parent must be visited upon his son. So even if there was evidence of Fred Trump being a Klan's member, that must be passed on down to his progeny.
Up to here. Okay. And again, what they're monitoring, if he keeps losing ground in suburban counties with that black turnout,
that's right.
May not win.
That's right.
Now, if you look at New York Times and the Hill and the rest of these people, they're predicting Trump a 61% chance of still winning.
Right.
New York Times is predicting 278 electoral college votes, but they're
They was
factoring
off.
in winning Georgia and North Carolina and one of the blue wall states. At the end of the day, just like in 2016, this election will come down again to that blue wall. At the end, she wins Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. She wins. If she's able to flip one of these, North Carolina or Georgia, we'll see. Trump spent a considerable amount of time closing in North Carolina, but Georgia. Let's see, will black folks come through in massive?
It's all about black folk.
Georgia, so it actually may come down to Georgia as well.
Yep.
Why haven't the streets been more engaged? You have the preachers, you have the pimps, you have the businessmen, you have the thugs, you got the drug dealers. All of them can vote too if their rights are.
I mean, maybe they're convicted felons. It seems like a distinct possibility the way you're describing them.
Still there. So what are we doing to engage all of these parts of our community, even the ones we don't want to talk about, but we know they're in our families? They're also a part of the community.
At Howard University, this is a live shot of what's happening on the campus there. It is jam-packed as folks are awaiting election results. They are, of course, hoping to see the first HBCU graduate become president of the United States, the first female president of the United States.
And I'm hoping,
of course, AKA is a real.
I'm hoping ardently against.
That they will have one of their own as president of the United States. And so it's already jam-packed. They have shut down the campus for the entire week, getting ready for this night. Again, when you look at the map already, and children are freaking out, understand typically many of your red states come in first, places like Indiana, places like Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi. But of course, those critical battleground states. Well, right to it. Look, listen, people are sitting in Texas. They're sitting here. I'm in Congo. They're nervous. They're like, oh my God, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, everybody got to breathe.
Everybody got to breathe.
Voters have the opportunity. You got to count ballots. There were lots of lines, long lines. And so you just got to just chill and wait.
Yeah, this is the reason why we offered a bunch of free
fatty.
yoga classes this week. Because folks are freaking out. And this is just part of the process. And I'm really nervous for a lot of the younger voters, first-timers who are really watching this whole process. And it's like, oh my gosh, he's won 2 states and they think it's going to be over. But I think this is important for all of us who have been doing this work to really use this as a teachable moment for so many people out there, because this is just a process. And we understand that Election day is not really election day. It could be election week, election month, depending on what's going on. We got people in some of these
election year
that are going to try to pull some shenanigans with Trump's little secret to try to get to what's going to happen with December 11th and all this electoral college stuff they're going to try to play games with. So I think that people have to be patient and still stay engaged in the process.
That blue wall is critical. It was critical for Hillary Clinton in 2016. It didn't happen. Donald Trump won by 77,000 votes. in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Vice President Harris and her team hope that is not the case in 2024.
Well, we have seen a double turnout. 500,000 is probably going to be the margin of the increase that we will see in Pennsylvania. And I think that is a lot because of the energy. It is the hope. It is the messaging that the Harris campaign has put on the ground game, but also the engagement. And I think a lot of that is what we're just going to see overnight. Pennsylvania is going to win. We have 67 counties. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is one of the top priorities.
Is one of the top priorities. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is.
At the same exact time. And I think
My
that
mom
was amazing in
is
itself,
not
right?
happy.
If you're driving 5 hours, but she also took a flight, so it was 40 minutes. But she came there, she resonated, and the people that were there to support her. So I think the amount of energy and the amount of turnout that we've seen that we haven't seen in the previous elections outside of this one is really going to show a difference.
Michael.
This was billed as a watch party, as I said earlier, and it certainly is. I mean, in between when you're hearing the DJ behind me, results are obviously coming in. You're discussing it there in the studio. But when they do come in, the organizers are cutting the DJ. They're putting CNN on the big screen, and they're sharing the results with the people who are here in the yard tonight. And not surprisingly, when news comes in that Harris has won a state like Michigan or Pennsylvania, the crowd absolutely goes wild.
But did she win those states?
President Donald Trump has won a state like Florida. Of course, there are boos and cheers. Not a shocker, but it's been a whirlwind presidential campaign for her, and it will all come to an end very soon. She's essentially been running for 3 months compared to Donald Trump, who has been running for about 9 years. So the big question on everyone's minds here at Howard University and across the nation is who's going to win. And while it's still too early to tell, anything can happen in a race like this, Roland. You know that. I know that. I am no predictor of elections. That is not my job here tonight, Roland. But things are close. The crowd is on edge. They're taking the wins when they get them. This party definitely underway. It's formally started. We had so far tonight. It's been a very unified vibe. People are excited. They're looking forward to what's happening next. But as you know, Roland, it's not over till it's over.
When we look at what's going on here, again, probably I would say, Avis, as I said to Congo, I think I would say to anybody is calm the hell down. I mean, votes got to be counted.
Sounds like y'all are losing.
If you did everything that you could, if you call, if you phone bank, if you canvass, if you push stuff out on social media, then it really comes down to the voters. And the people keep hitting me, and I'm like, yo, why you been anxious, nervous, and freaking all out? I mean, you just have to wait.
Absolutely. And here's what they need to remember. Right, the most populous areas obviously is the most votes. So it's going to take a little while. And I tell you, I'm very excited to hear about people still in line in Charlotte because we know what Charlotte was like. Okay, and that tells me that something powerful
is Charlotte mostly black. I'm guessing
this night with a North Carolina for Kamala Harris. I think that could be the beginning of a blue wave that nobody's really expecting tonight. So I'm excited to see.
Good prediction.
Just like you said, we need to be a little patient. It's going to come in.
Scott.
Yeah, if she wins North Carolina, that takes a lot of pressure off the blue wall.
Yes.
And Trump is going to have to find another way to 270, and there's not as much pressure. I mean, Roland and I were together with some of you all in 2016, and it started off the same way. When the first blue wall state fell, right? When it fell, that's the first time we got real nervous that we were going to have Trump in the White House. But before then, we were pretty festive. Things were going the way they were supposed to go. He won Florida. Remember, the red states count better than the blue states. They just do it more efficient, exactly, so that they could make an argument.
You're complimenting a red state?
Fraud down the line. I mean, understand the strategy of theirs, which is voter suppression, voter legal arguments. What's more important is
voter
this
suppression.
Time, though, the Trump administration
They continually
isn't in
accuse
office,
us of that.
But the Democrats are in office. They've never won a lawsuit on election day fraud and what have you, and so that's going in our favor. But we got to win big. If it's close, we're going to fight for 30-plus days. And if it gets to the Supreme Court, They're no friends of ours historically. They just aren't, guys. And so I hope that black men came out and voted. I think you're right, Roland, about the patience piece. And I also think that if she flips North Carolina or another state, that takes the pressure off the blue wall.
And we're not going to know, I think probably the closer we get to midnight to see how this shapes up. And then we'll see if those black counties in Georgia, if they're able to come roaring through as they normally are late. And so usually when it's about 70-75% of the ballots in, all of a sudden, that's when CP time works for us. Because those
I don't understand the joke.
and all of a sudden,
Oh, wait.
all of a sudden,
Maybe
you see
they're
that
talking about the
lead is
fraud of
going down,
2020?
down. And so, and that's the thing. And so, again, you do all you can, and you have to wait to see what the results are.
Well, like, what did they say last week? Keep Kamala and carry Amala. So I think that's what we
Ooh,
need to
that's so
start saying to
clever.
everybody.
Clever.
North Carolina, 51% of the votes are in, but you're seeing how close it is. Harris down by less than 80,000 votes. Of course, Biden lost his state by 2.5 points in 2020. And so again, we're seeing what happens in those black counties. That is not a large margin there when you talk about North Carolina. A lot of votes that are still out. And so again, that's tight as well. And so you look. So again, you can, if you win Georgia or North Carolina, you can lose a Wisconsin and still win, or lose a Michigan, because when you look at the electoral college map. And so let's look at. I was looking at some sides. It's real early there. Only 26% of the vote in Pennsylvania is showing Harris up 55-43. But again, that's very early.
Again, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be a lot of shenanigans that are going to be going on between now and January 6th that are going to involve the House. And Mike Johnson, who was one of the architects of the original Stop the Steal work that they were doing, he's had 4 years to plot with Trump about what they were going to do right now. And so when Trump talks about we got something else planned, we got to believe that. And so I think there can be a lot going on right now. And so I'm really hoping that a lot of our people are going to come through as some of these other polls close and some of these other things with these bomb threats and other. But we also have people who are in these polls and who are watching the count, who are shady people, who are insurrectionists, who are Stop the Steal people, who are all of that. And
Just
so
shady
they
people.
got plans behind the plans, right? And I think that it's important that we got our poll watchers out there, that we got our lawyers on tap right now as well, because we're going to need to fight this every single way and every single day. Even if she takes everything tonight, it's not going to end. Our number one thing is to stop anything from getting to the Supreme Court. Right?
Nothing did. Good job. Congratulations. Mission accomplished.
We have to worry about.
One of the reasons that it's really close is that there are a large number of white, male, uneducated voters, low propensity and strong propensity, white, male, uneducated voters.
Yep. The fact that they're white and male and, in your mind, uneducated, that's a real problem.
In Pennsylvania that are keeping those numbers tight. That's really it.
Why does it fascinate you? Everybody knows that Pennsylvania. No.
Gender
They are uneducated. They are broke.
And
they
Trump
are
and
broke,
men.
uneducated white people. They are
Yep. Broke, uneducated. Maybe they're oppressed.
Pennsylvania.
It's so funny that these black elites, quote unquote, call everybody else broke, uneducated, and then they put the onus on them while they say that there's such a thing as oppression by the white devil. I despise these people. I really do.
Teresa, you know this. You go to Pennsylvania, once you get outside of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, the suburbs,
The suburbs, it becomes less black.
Red.
Yeah.
No, white people have
White
been
people.
voting against their economic interests since the end of slavery. They have been.
All because of hated
So
black
we have
people,
to
right?
understand that whiteness is real and the culture of whiteness is real. And
The culture of whiteness is real. White people is real. The culture of whiteness is real. You know why I wore this hat? The B is for bigot. And that's you, Roland. You are the true bigot here, not me.
so Trump pushes their buttons. He people who literally lost their family farms but still said they're going to vote for Trump. You're like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm sorry. I need somebody.
Do you know that the Democrats are the ones in Pennsylvania that were attempting to take the farms from Amish farmers and get them to stop producing farm-raised organic food sold directly to the consumer because big agriculture wanted that market and didn't want the competition from them? And this is why they might lose the family farms. Is that because of Republicans or is that because of Democrats? Roland, you fat ass, you should get off of that Kraft macaroni and cheese that no doubt you eat every single meal.
Show me a Republican agenda that actually positively impacts the working class. It doesn't. But we're like, yeah, but that's my man. Like, what the hell?
Like, what the hell?
And I think one of the guests said it last.
Don't need to be studied. They white.
They white.
Whiteness.
Whiteness is the devil.
No, what it is right now is they are what's happening right now. All of the talk, all you keep saying, they are deathly afraid of the nation becoming a nation of the majority of people of color.
Right.
And so everybody.
But if all you have, the only power you have is being white. I mean, that is it, because you are not.
That's the only power we have,
you
whiteness.
don't have a great job. You need.
There's no intellect, there's no ability by anybody white to achieve anything of great scale. No, it's just whiteness. That's the only power you have. And they call us the racists. If I were to say that about black people, I would be rightfully denigrated. I don't believe that skin color is at all part of a conversation as to who somebody is, but these people do. And they call us the racists. Once again, I'm going to have to keep repeating that. The B is for bigot.
Blame someone else. So the reason
Bam.
why we don't have a job, according to Trump and his cronies, is because of the immigrants have taken their job, and they're going to take.
There
the
is
black
truth to that.
jobs too, right?
That is true.
So they create this. They create a fear, and they also create this. It's not your fault. You are not failing in America. It's somebody else's fault, and it makes them feel good about themselves. So it is all about whiteness and protecting whiteness, because
Yep,
the lowest
that's all it's
black
about.
man, as we've always talked about, feels as if he's better than the most educated, successful black man. And they don't want to let go of that.
And divide and conquer is always
No,
works.
just because we're white, that gives me supremacy.
That's why it works.
I am a better basketball player than LeBron James because I'm white.
In Pennsylvania. And so, there's bad news, you're poor, but there's good news, you're white.
Yeah, let's talk about white
people.
It's such a huge advantage in today's modern world.
Of the whiteness that they want to be, right? So,
He's the representation of who everybody wants to be: successful, funny, with well-raised children. Yeah, that's who everybody wants to be.
those who are uneducated and, it's aspirational.
Well,
That's exactly what
I
it
think
is.
also when we're having this conversation.
How about morbidly obese like
whiteness,
y'all?
You do have to factor in, because I'm looking at.
I'm looking at you, Roland,
Again,
fat,
I'm not
floppy
sold on
rolls.
exit polls at all. But when you NBC, according to their exit poll data, that 53% Latino voters are breaking for Harris, 45% for Trump. In 2020, it was 65% Latinos for Biden, 32% for Trump. And I've said this, somebody who's from Texas, and I understand there are white Hispanics.
It's the fact they're whiteness. But isn't that a special? Doesn't that give them special privileges? Their whiteness. Everybody who's evil, everybody who's against us is white. That is the team that we are going to castigate and describe with that color.
And we have to understand, when Trump has been talking about immigration, you got a lot of Latinos who are like, send ass back. So,
But I mean, even the whole Puerto Rico trash, the whole comedian thing, I mean, I don't think that deterred a whole lot of them, right? I think it was nice to.
Well, that's evidenced by the switch.
So it's 9:44. They're calling Virginia for Vice President Kamala Harris, and so again, that was one of those. If you got past 10 o'clock, and you got to 10:30, you got a little nervous, and so again, that bodes well for. Well, that bodes well because now again you start looking at the blue wall. I just saw Trump could. Said Trump could win Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, and still not get to 270.
Right.
And so again, the blue.
Right. We got it in the bag.
And again, if you're the Harris campaign, you're really paying attention to Georgia.
Yes.
So Decision Desk has called North Carolina for Trump. Other people are contesting that because they say 10% of Mecklenburg County, where Charlotte is only in. Like, how you call the state?
How you going? How you doing that?
So we're watching that. And so, again, this could come down to Georgia. It could come out of Georgia, again, if she doesn't win those three.
But she got the black belt in Georgia. She got the black belt.
One of those three blue wall states. Welcome back to our 2024 election coverage here on the Black Star Network. Folks are anxious, nervous. I'm not. Again, if you watch this show and you pay any attention to the last several election cycles, you will understand that we have close elections. You will understand how many times have I said on this show, margins. Here's a live shot of the crowd there at Howard University. I was seeing some reports, they said they can feel the anxiety there. But y'all, it's only 10:04 p.m. And so understand, maybe they should have flipped that script, that screen at the Kamala Harris Howard University party to the Black Star Network instead of CNN, then they might calm the hell down.
Because we're spreading the propaganda that keeping it real.
10,000 vote margin right now in Georgia. And so it could be more. And so, again, you have to wait, calm down, and relax. Our elections have been razor thin. It's been margins in 2020, even though that was with COVID. It was what, less than 12,000 in Georgia, 10,000 in Arizona, 20,000 in Wisconsin. Go to 2016, Trump literally wins by 77,000 votes in 3 states: Michigan by 10,000, Wisconsin by 10,000, and then of course what happened in Pennsylvania. And so this idea that this is going to be an NFL game, you're going to be blowing folks out in the first half, that just doesn't exist. And this is also what happens when you have a country that uses the electoral college vote, not the popular vote. And for all y'all people out there who can't stand that, well, guess what? Change the Constitution, which means you got to change the House, you got to change the Senate, you got to win the White House. What's the mood? Can you sense it in the air? Are people sort of waiting on pins and needles? I'm quite sure the dancing and the strolling has stopped, and everybody's like, "Oh Lord, what the hell is going on?"
We in trouble.
All of that, Roland, everything you just said and more. I mean, look, this is a
You nailed it, Roland. You nailed it.
Earlier this morning, some 20,000 plus people here waiting to welcome Vice President Kamala Harris. I mean, people here want a party. They want something to rejoice. The mood has been jovial. People have been celebratory. You can actually feel it in the air. But, they might get a positive outcome. But, the numbers are coming in very, very slowly. And as tight as this race has been at this hour, it's really anyone's guess what will happen tonight. Just behind me is where Vice President Harris's friends and close family are expected to sit when she does take to the stage earlier. She's been fighting hard up till the very end. Every time that Vice President Harris wins a state, the crowd here goes wild. Every time we hear that former President Donald Trump wins a state, you hear the exact opposite. So, Roland, you talked about pins and needles earlier. That is what's happening here, but people are rejoicing. They have a hopeful attitude. They're in a good mood. But as you know, it's anyone's guess. We're all here watching. We're all here waiting. This race could go either way. And
why do people work so hard to keep us from voting? Because
that's all we do.
How powerful our vote is. So
it's worth more than ours.
Alive and well, and it always will be, because we live in a patriarchal society. Right.
Oppression.
Womanhood is devalued and manhood is supervalued. I mean, I
supervalued.
was telling some of y'all sisters in the back about the fist fight I had with my brother in 2016 because the boy voted for Trump and had to temerity to say it.
Oh my God, he differed from my view.
Oh no, and I punched him.
Ooh, you sound like a nice woman. You sound a nice leftist black woman that is so joyful to hang out with, so long as I agree with everything you say. The moment that I diverge from your opinion, I can expect a smackaroo in the kisser.
But he bigger than me. But
he didn't punch back though, right?
He punched back. We were rolling around on the floor.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you survived, right?
So the question is, where are we missing the gap?
Because women are stronger than men, but we live in a patriarchal society, which is the only reason that a man can beat up a woman. That's the only reason, because of society, not because of genetics, not because of nature.
We're talking about the gender gap. We have these men who are on social media being radicalized. We have
By Joe Rogan, radical.
Right now, losing their mind. Even some.
I'm one of the people.
Even some of the dumbasses in our chat. And somebody like, "Ooh, you can tell Roland's body language has changed." You're an idiot. It hasn't.
Really? What's your IQ, Roland?
Okay. Everybody's
87?
thinking blowout. It was driving me crazy when I saw all of that stuff about a blowout.
That's dangerous.
Okay, so folks need to understand.
Totally dangerous.
Pennsylvania is going to be close. Georgia is going to be close. North Carolina is going to be close. Biden lost North Carolina by 2.5 points.
Yeah.
And so, again, I'm not sitting here freaking because the first thing I'm looking at is where are the outstanding ballots?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm the Harris campaign and I'm looking at Georgia, it's a lot of black and Democrat
and the
vote.
Black Bill.
Is a max. They're
Maxed out.
And they in bed.
Yeah.
So they turn their shit in.
One of the worst.
So they're at max.
That part.
People at home, they're at max.
Yep.
Right.
They're smaller counties.
Yep.
They've already finished counting.
Yep.
So they're done. So if you're
They're
sitting
done.
here, Trump, Harris,
White is
you're looking
done.
at, okay, what's outstanding and who are likely my voters? And so right now it's about 210,000 again lead in Georgia. And so the
That's
question
a
is,
big lead.
80-20, 75-25. That's what the party is.
The best thing the Republicans.
The fact, though, is, if Trump wins North Carolina and Georgia, she absolutely has to win Pennsylvania.
Oh, absolutely.
He absolutely has to win Pennsylvania. So my entire evening
Well, she
is
got to win
spent-
Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and
Right, but if that's why my entire East Coast attention is on North Carolina and Georgia, because, that kind of tells you right there that she absolutely has to get Pennsylvania. So what we're watching, too, is some Michigan coming in, and it's going, his way, which, of course, doesn't mean anything because it's such a small sample. We also just saw that Trump won Iowa after that poll came out indicating...
Oh, did he?
Yeah, indicating that he
What?
would lose Iowa.
I thought she was going to win Iowa.
There's things
I thought she was going to win Iowa because I have a very low IQ that believes the leftist propaganda put out as a push-pull in order to move people in our direction and to maybe raise money. Because this days it backfired on her. Ann Seltzer, by the way, is retired from the Des Moines Register. I wonder how much money she got for putting out that fake-ass poll.
like that after everything that we saw for the last 2 weeks, the racism with regard to Puerto Rico, the paying
It's all racism.
Johnson,
Yep. Saying that an island has a trash problem, that's racism against Puerto Rico. Yep.
all this nonsense. And yet still,
Everything's racism.
Donald Trump is in the game, is competitive. I mean, I
Is
find
winning.
that entire overview to be incredible, right? The fact
Just
that we're
incredible.
even talking about this guy being competitive is still shocking to me. It is still shocking to me.
The reason Mustafa.
Here we are.
Well, here's the deal. The reason what you now have is you have a rabid base that they don't care. They're going to turn out.
We're going to turn out.
Democratic side, Democratic voters are actually smarter.
Yep.
Really?
Problem with being
Y'all are in a
smart
cult.
is sometimes you fucking think too much.
Yep.
And so.
Ooh, that's so funny.
The other thing that people forget.
So again, Republicans are clear. They are on record. If we restrict voting,
That's all we want to do.
we get
Restrict
a better
it.
shot at winning.
I mean, we definitely want to restrict it from the illegal aliens that don't have the right to vote, that you guys want to give them the right so that you have a permanent blue majority by virtue of the fact that via reciprocity, they will be voting for you forever because you gave away our taxpayer money in the form of free housing, in the form of hotel rooms, food stamps, and cash and plane tickets. Hey, I wonder who they're going to vote for. But all we want to do is restrict voting. That's the whole goal. Just strangulate the black community so that they're unable to vote.
If voting is expansive, we're guaranteed to lose.
That's what happened.
As we're having this conversation about people coming out and not coming out, we have to continue also this conversation about white women because it's looking at, once again, all the numbers ain't out yet, but once again,
They ain't out
letting
yet.
folks down.
I ain't out yet.
When we get
I want to pretend that I'm an educator, that I'm too smart, but I'm using they ain't out yet on public television and not even as like a joke.
we vote. And that's the issue. They're trying to make us
We
not
vote.
But
We don't want you to
we
vote.
don't actually know about white women yet, but what we do know is that Charlie Kirk and Elon Musk ran the ground game for Donald Trump.
I thought we had no ground game.
I thought, okay, this might be a blue wave. I mean, I got to me,
Elon's never done anything productive in his entire life. I mean, how could one expect him to be able to put rockets into space, land them back on Earth, catch them, make an electric car, burrow under metropolises in order to get places faster, but handle the ground game? Are you kidding me? No way. You got to reserve that for the smart Democrat voters.
Could be a way, because those two idiots,
Idiots.
doing something that they've never worked on before. That told me this could be,
Thumb up the video.
But apparently, maybe it is. Maybe it is white women.
My point is that when all of these
Oppression.
I'm looking at various things here, saying numbers coming in good from Detroit. Jonathan Martin is sitting here posting, hard to see how Harris carries Wisconsin at current Dane County margin, which is down. Guys, hold 1 second, your mics are still on, hold on. Is it hard to see how Harris carries Wisconsin at current Dane margin, which is down from Biden's number, 86% reporting from Dane County. So when you're looking at these various states, now you're going on. Again, Georgia, you're looking at 88% reporting, but again, because of the bomb threats, the reporting is delayed in Fulton, DeKalb, in Gwinnett counties. And so then when you look at all of these folks, again, New York Times and the rest of these people, they're all sitting here predicting a big opportunity for Trump here. Let me go to, looks like, we'll go to Ohio. And looks like, well, perfect example.
87 IQ.
Who,
Case in point.
Ran a different race and looks like he is going to lose. So Sherrod Brown is down 5 points in Ohio.
That's good news.
And so
don't frame it as bad, please.
Republicans hold that.
I want a lot of money on that.
They will control the Senate outright if they win. If they win that, Democrats desperately needed that seat in Ohio, and so a very strong progressive voice. Looks like that's 85% reporting, and he's down by 240,000 votes. To look like Brown is going to be losing the Senate race in Ohio. Again, we're looking at these states. Again, we're back to 2016, where it's likely going to be, does the blue wall hold? As it stands right now, 57% of the votes are in Wisconsin. Trump has a 31,000, go to my iPad, a 31,000 vote lead in Wisconsin. And so that's where that stands. This is according to the New York Times, 57% of the votes are in. We still are looking at North Carolina. When you look at North Carolina, he has a 129,000 vote lead in North Carolina. 86% of the votes are in. Remember, he spent a lot of time in North Carolina in the closing days. I'd be very curious to see what those large black counties in East North Carolina looked at when it came to turnout. And so that's North Carolina. When we look at...
Rely on the black man.
Let me go to Michigan here to see where we stand with Michigan. And again, we're waiting on that. Michigan is showing Trump with a 42... it's showing him with a lead there at 50.9 to 47.4. But again, we're 28% of the votes in, so we're waiting to see what happens with Detroit, Lansing, Flint, and those counties right there. Trump is up in Pennsylvania by 67% of the vote is in Pennsylvania. He's up, according to the New York Times, by about 90,000 votes in Pennsylvania.
Good.
So
Good.
We're waiting to see what counties are outstanding. Here's what, it actually hasn't come up tonight, and I was very interested it hasn't come up. America still hasn't elected a woman.
Yep. No.
And the fact of the matter is, again, this feels similar to
Racist and misogynistic we are.
No, excuse me, let me finish the point. This is still a nation that you have to crack a glass ceiling, and it was not going to be easy for a woman to win the presidency in this country. One second. Hold on.
Get your 87 IQ ass moving forward with your thoughts and statements instead of hogging the airways as you've been doing. I think that there are other people there that are more intelligent than you. In fact, I think all of them probably. Except for the guy that uses the word ain't.
In misogyny within this country.
Yep,
And we're seeing
there we
it
go.
here.
Another intelligent comment.
Men and
Baked
women.
in misogyny.
They're not responding in the way that we thought that they would. Harris came out and did everything that she absolutely could.
You're goddamn right. She was actually able to complete a sentence.
Everybody can hear you talking. Just hold on. Please finish your point.
Harris went out and did absolutely everything that she could in these past 100 days. And it's still showing up like it wasn't enough. She didn't call people deplorable, so she didn't have the Hillary Clinton problem. She tried to appeal. She didn't run on identity politics. She didn't come out there and say, I'm black, I'm a woman, I'm an AKA. That's not what she ran on.
That's
She
your
ran
job.
on, I'm going to be a president for everyone. She put out Project 2020.
You're practically
she showed
crying.
Agenda 47. She talked about Trump, mass deportations of people, and it still feels like
Good.
it's not enough. So the question is, when is it going to be enough? When is America going to be ready to
I don't know, maybe when you have Tulsi Gabbard run as a woman of color, then I might vote for her. There's no chance that I would ever vote for Kamala Harris, that stupid liar who says that freedom of speech is a privilege. No, thank you, ma'am.
a woman?
Well, not my
When?
It's not my lifetime.
Never.
It has to be.
Never. Take that home, go cry on it.
I'm very so. Oh God, I'm really having a breakdown right now. If you know, I'm very serious because this election, I don't care about this whole racing. I don't care about this fucking like gender thing.
It's a gender.
No, listen.
Listen.
This is an existential threat.
Yes.
All of us.
Yes.
The fact that we're sitting here having this conversation right now is terrifying.
It's terrifying.
And we're sitting here talking about it as if it's some sort of intellectual debate or discussion. We are falling fucking
There are zero intellectuals on this panel.
apart right now. And this is terrifying.
It's
and
terrifying.
I'm literally thinking about the collective trauma that's occurring across the nation right now, not just with deeply entrenched racists that are going to be running
Everybody's
around doing
racist.
God knows what pretty soon. But on top of it, the people that have lost faith, we have rates of suicide amongst young people that are exponential, that are growing.
Why? Why do you think that is? Because you shut down their schools, because you put masks over them, because they weren't able to learn how to enunciate, because you told all the white people that they were bad and misogynist and that they had toxic masculinity. Why do you think that might be? Also, you took away their economic possibilities and kept them from playing their high school sports, which was an outlet for those who might have been disturbed because at least they get the good juices flowing in the body and the hormones released. Maybe that's why. Not because we elected Donald Trump. We elected Donald Trump because of all that.
Exponentially, right? We have some serious shit that we have to fix as a result of this election. And
No, we're fixing it because of this
In the
election.
next couple of months, not for myself,
This is good meltdown.
but for what happens around us. Are we prepared
Brittany, go
for
ahead.
that?
I hear you, and I sympathize. I'm
I
part of
don't.
it. You know,
I think you're
we're
stupid.
all going through it right now. I feel like I went through this even worse, where I had suicide check-ins in 2016.
Because y'all are mentally ill. Now, I don't wish that upon you. I certainly wish that you had a different mental state, which can be achieved very easily by exercise and focusing on what you're grateful for, and I wish that for you. But you're going to go back to MSDNC, the Xanax, and the Roland Martins of the world that are propagandizing you to hate, because Roland Martin, this fat-ass man who's leading this panel, is a hate monger.
Worked for Hillary Clinton. We can talk about race, but at the end of the day, it's about being a woman. And
So it's not about race? We're not racist? We're just misogynist?
and then
I thought we were
have
both.
Kamala, which I heard a lot of They like her personality, and she's giving and so forth. But at the end of the day, she's still a woman.
Anybody who votes for Trump, I'm not going to call them idiot because that's not nice, and I told y'all I'm not trying to cuss. But
I'm going to call him without saying it.
he is making money. This election has become an income generator for him.
Finish.
Okay, the point again is we don't understand the nature of capitalism. We think that it's a good thing.
It is.
We think
It's why we have all the material possessions that we have and the comfort.
that winning is good, but we don't understand what losing looks like.
You do. You lose all the time.
What I say earlier, people are freaking
You should.
As they
right
should
now,
I did.
there's no red. Listen, right now, there's no red state that Trump won in 2020 that hasn't flipped. Right now, there's no blue state that Biden won in 2020 that hasn't flipped.
Other than the fact that the decision desk earlier called North Carolina, which you refused to notate. Oh, wait, actually, Trump did win that. I take it back. You're right, Roland. I've got the 87 IQ.
The reality is this here. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. The 7 battleground states that we started the night off with, that we've known for the past year, we're going to decide this election, have not been decided. So they are what they are.
Keep the hope alive.
I literally, somebody sent me, Ro, it's not looking good. I'm like, yo,
let me
the night ain't over.
It ain't over. It ain't over.
No.
We black intellectuals, so we use the word ain't to proselytize it to our youth.
People kept expecting a landslide.
Yeah.
Everybody, yes.
I did expect a landslide. I really expected Trump to win in a landslide, and he pretty much did.
No, Brianna, wrong. Here's what happened. Here's what happened. Folks are like, oh my God, she's the most accomplished.
No.
Oh my God, look at this campaign.
Oh my God, she once completed a sentence.
Oh my God, this man is crazy. And while all that was happening, I kept saying repeatedly, yo, he is still, I kept saying to people,
He is a predatory capitalist.
listen, it doesn't matter. This is the equivalent of looking on paper and go, oh, this team is going to win a Super Bowl in a blowout. You still got to fucking play the game.
Yeah.
And the reality is this here.
And we did, and we won in a blowout.
No red state
that
he won in 2020 has flipped.
That's right.
So this idea that it was going to be a landslide, it was crazy. It wasn't.
The thing is this, right?
He won in 2016. He won in 2016 by 77,000 votes.
Right.
Where I'm telling you, all these people, and it's because folks are like,
He won by a lot more this time.
look at this. This is going to be a blowout. I'm sitting here going, no, it's not. It's not going to be a blowout. But again,
be a blowout.
But then we have the Ann Seltzer poll of Iowa.
I'm telling you, people, folks were so locked and low. Listen, I have to deal with people every single day. Okay,
This
the last
dumbasses
poll, oh my goodness.
Right.
that you have to deal with.
About 4, I'm like, elections are not national. Elections are states. What are we doing? Stop looking at the damn poll. Don't look at national polls. Look at state polls.
Most of the Republican counties at this point, and Pennsylvania, Georgia as well, are literally maxed out. There's nothing
We're maxed
else
out.
reported
That's
there.
what she said earlier.
All that's left to come in are from in Pennsylvania, Philly, and the collar counties, and Georgia, the blue counties, and Michigan. You know, Detroit is still trickling in. Wisconsin, there's still huge upside in Milwaukee and Dane County. I just got a memo from the campaign just now, outline. So the thing is this, right? Everybody, calm your fucking nerves. I'm sorry for saying the F word in the show, Roland.
First of all, that's why we got a full bar over there.
And I'm sorry.
Some of y'all.
Listen, Eugene, I don't drink either. But some of y'all need to go get some brown liquor. Not champagne, brown liquor.
So this is the thing, right? This is the thing. But what I need all y'all to do is tone this shit the fuck down a little bit. Now, hold on. Because the thing is this.
Nice language.
For a second. Because the anxiety level, I agree with you.
He gonna talk when I stop him.
That the anxiety level
I got it.
It's high right now because you have.
It's still 11-11. So we going to a break. Most of them gonna get their ass a drink. Eugene gonna get some more water with some ice. And we'll be back on the Black Star Network. Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be coming out soon to address the audience. Moments ago, Jen O'Malley Dillon, who is the campaign chair for the Harris for President campaign, sent this memo out to the staff and was shared with the public. Go to my iPad. She said, team, as polls close across the country, I want to give everyone an update on what we're seeing. As we have known all along, this is a razor-thin race. We have known all along that our clearest path to 270 electoral votes lies through the blue wall states, and we feel good about what we're seeing. That's why, folks, in a moment, Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be coming out addressing the public. Now, remember, the strategy of the Trump campaign always was to claim victory on Tuesday night. That's what they tried to do.
Which they rightfully did.
Ago. But as you had Jen O'Malley Dillon said, it's a lot of votes to count. And so there are way too many variables here. So let me remind everybody again. There has not been a single red state in 2020 that changed in 2024.
That's good news.
There's not been a single state that Biden won in 2020 that has not changed in 2024. So this election still comes down to 7 states. So, folks, it doesn't matter if you win by 100,000 votes or you win by 1,000 votes. You win. It doesn't matter if you get to 270 or you get to 350. 270 is all that you need. So literally, all of y'all, go get a damn drink, calm your asses down, go heat some food up, turn some music on, and chill your asses out.
Chill your asses out.
Put that up on a big screen so all the people who are at Howard can hear what I just said so they can relax and chill because it's going to be a long night.
Not really. Not that long.
A notice more than 5 minutes ago saying that we were all going to be asked to turn our lights out in a matter of minutes. So that may be a signal that Vice President Harris is set to take the stage in a day. I do have to tell you, it seems like the sort of energy level has dropped in the last maybe hour or so since we were talking to you. Now, I do want to say that organizers have had the television screens tuned into CNN and to local news following various results that have been coming in, not only here, but across the country. So is that a reason because the DJ was no longer with us? Or is it because people's minds have been changing about what's going on here tonight? I certainly can't predict that. There's no way I can tell. But I did get to go into the crowd to talk to people a little bit about how they were feeling. I spoke to a father and son team who said they were still very bullish on Kamala Harris. A woman next to them basically said that she was cautiously optimistic. As you just mentioned about this memo that came from the Harris team, they sent out a memo not too long ago, as you said, saying that these returns are coming in slowly. This is something that they anticipated for quite some time, but that they still see a path to 270. But information on that might not come tonight. So the big question now is supporters here waiting to see if she is going to take the stage. Right now, we have a fairly quiet crowd here at Howard University. The DNC, this is sort of being billed as a watch party, and it has been a party up until this point. We've had DJs, we've had entertainment. I have to tell you, Roland, this is feeling a lot to me like 2016. And again, I am not a predictor. I am not saying who is going to win either way. I'm just saying that the night air is sort of feeling a little bit like that.
Chilly?
To me, but Roland, it's going to be a long night.
The reason I won't say is like 2016.
Because I'm holding out hope.
The numbers were also a lot different. I just think that, again, I think for a lot of people, they forgot the fact that the last 5 elections have been tight. And so that's what this is all about. So it's clear the Harris campaign is saying, listen, we're seeing the numbers. We know what the path to victory is. What they are hoping, and they've always hoped this, because when you look at, again, the numbers, when you talk about an electoral college number, when Michigan stays blue, you're at 247. Let's say Wisconsin
and then we get Wisconsin
goes blue, you're at 257.
Yep.
And then let's say Georgia goes blue, you're at 273.
Ooh, they're going to win.
Pennsylvania.
Good math.
They can go to Trump. They win Georgia. They win the presidency. What the Harris campaign is looking at right now is they're saying, hey, we could win Georgia. The numbers are there.
You got the black belt. The black belt.
Win Georgia. Win Georgia, it's a sigh of relief. Now you go, all right, you got to lock down Wisconsin and Michigan and lose Pennsylvania.
Lock them down and insert the ballots.
And lose one of those. And so that's just what it is. It just comes down to it.
That's just what it is.
And I'm saying to people, if you look at this map, so all right, let's play with the map again. Let's say Trump wins Wisconsin. Let's say Harris wins Arizona.
It's going to happen.
274.
Keep digging.
Pennsylvania still doesn't factor. And so that's why I'm telling everybody who's at Howard, I'm telling everybody in this studio, I'm telling everybody
chill
who's
out.
watching, y'all gonna make me cuss in a second.
But
I'm literally saying, calm the hell down. This is about math.
Close.
It's about math.
I don't think that's your best subject,
and so
dude.
folk need to relax and chill out. So you got these right wingers who are in our chat, and y'all might want to calm down because I'm gonna start blocking y'all asses. Who are like Trump. So the election is not over, and so I think again, people came there thinking, oh, we're gonna come here, and then by what I don't understand is why in the hell they turn the music off? Why did they stop? I mean, hell, they create.
Y'all gonna win. Just turn the music back
I'm
up.
looking at all these people's faces and everything, and again, matter of fact, and I just sent Tatiana, I just sent the campaign a text message. I said, y'all should turn off them damn screens from CNN, put on the Black Star Network, so they can hear somebody tell them to chill out and calm down. But it is interesting that people are thinking out there, and so we shall see what happens. And so we're looking at again the numbers. Everything is numbers that are coming out. And so as we continue to go through here and look at various election breakdowns, the New York Times on their website. Again, if I go to Michigan, what they're showing right now is less than 100,000. So 39%. This is according to
132 minus 1028.
Of the votes counted in Michigan.
Less than.
Trump leads less than 100,000 at 39% coming in.
I take it math is your strong subject.
The question then becomes, what are the outstanding counties? What are those blue counties? Now, let me go over to Georgia. In Georgia, you see here little more than 100,000, but it says 95% of the votes are in. Now, that could change very quickly when it comes to those, those counties in Georgia. Say it again? Virginia. We've been called that. Monique over here talking about Virginia. Like, you call that an hour and a half ago. And again, it comes down to what we've always known, what is called the blue wall. So when you go to Michigan,
we got the blue wall.
Again, you see right
and we got the
here,
black belt in the blue wall, no doubt.
More, about 115,000 for Trump in Michigan. 40% of the vote is in. So we're watching that. Wisconsin is extremely tight. He's leading by less than 80,000. So when you look at, we're still waiting to see Vice President Kamala Harris coming out on the stage at Howard University to speak to the audience there. And again, so all of these folks who keep saying that these races have been called, no, these races have not been called. There's only been one entity that's called North Carolina and Georgia for Trump. Others have not done so.
We're not going to pay attention to them.
That are outstanding.
No way.
That's what we're looking at as well. And
we the Black Star Network.
You have
we got the black belt.
Estimates out there based upon what's leaning.
We got Twinkies and ho-hos for Roland.
Bottom line is, you got to wait till all the votes get counted in. So
roly-poly.
Again, this is what's happening at Howard University. Vice President Kamala Harris. Let's go to Howard University. Get a shot there. So you're seeing shots of the folks there. Of course, anxiously waiting for these results, waiting for the VP to come out and address them as well. Let me see here if there have been any. Folks are saying that some races have been called, so let me check and see what's going on here. 1 second.
A lot of quiet over there. A lot of dancing. Not.
Now, the Associated Press, they are projecting that Donald Trump will win North Carolina. So,
are you going to call it now?
Associated Press is projecting that.
But you got the black belt.
CNN is also projecting that Donald Trump will win North Carolina. So you could take, so if we go back to our 270 to win map.
Looking harder now.
So you can actually put North Carolina in the red column for Donald Trump. We'll then look at that and so let you know. So again, we're checking to see what the projections are of where we're going. And so you see what these numbers are right here. Now, they gave the 5 minute, actually that's probably about 20 minutes ago for the vice president. But you know what happens if you don't bring the seal out. That's when you know she's about to come out, when they bring the seal and put it on the podium. Well, I saw a podium shot and that seal is not on the podium. So that's what's going on there. Let's go back to Tatiana. Tatiana, did they turn the music back on? Well, let's get Tatiana back, y'all. I'm curious to know, did they turn the music back on? Did somebody wake the DJ up? The DJ go to the bathroom and come back? What happened?
They did. They turned the music back on. They had some Tupac.
Smart. Real smart.
California.
Thank God. Tupac.
Representing California very strong. We can see the lights on the stage. If you can see behind me, they started sort of pulsating back and forth. Another sign that there is some activity that's about to happen here. But the crowd here waiting for Kamala Harris to come out. That has been the expectation all evening, that she would address her supporters. The people here obviously hoping that her address would include some sort of acknowledgement that she has in fact won. But that's not what's happening right now.
No, it's not.
That communication coming from the Harris team saying that it is a slow path. They are still able to see a path to 270. It's not happening at, what time is it? 11:40.
They can see a path in their imaginations.
I have my glasses on. Eastern Standard Time here. But it is about that time, and that's what people are waiting for. But you can't see the crowds like I can. But people are sort of just standing, a couple of flags waving, but not the dancing, not the revelry that there was earlier on in the evening. And in fairness, it has been a long night. I mean, we got here at 4 p.m. Eastern. The crowds here coming in maybe an hour or two after that. They have been standing on their feet this whole time in support of Vice President Kamala Harris. They are no doubt at least physically tired and likely a little bit mentally tired from waiting to see the results and to see these polls close across the country. But right now, still lights pulsating across the stage. DJ going strong, waking the crowd up. Guys standing in the doorway. All signs point to something that will be happening soon, Roland. It's just not happening yet. Looks like family members.
No, not happening yet. So we will see,
not happening at all.
What happens? Let's do this here. We're going to go to a break. And you know, a lot of people are sitting here, making all sort of assumptions, things along those lines. And so if you listen to people who just making assumptions, who don't know anything about what we're talking about, I would suggest you ignore them.
Ignore them. Noted.
But we also
That
see a
clues.
whole bunch of flag waving, not sure. Oh, gotcha. Okay, all right, cool. So they're showing on the map that she won Virginia. Well, that was like called a long time ago.
I know, but you only, when one of your outlets calls it, you note it and you say it's been called. But when North Carolina's called by decision desk, because it doesn't comply with our paradigm of how the world should be.
So I don't know why they're showing that so late. And so again, you're seeing what's happening right now. Again, Trump is still holding on to 200,000 or so lead in.
Seems like that's more than last time.
You're seeing some of the other states. Again, at this point in the race, you would rather be up anywhere from 100 to 200,000 votes than be down. But it also depends on where those counties are. The reality is a number of Latinos, based upon various exit polls, shifted hard right.
But what happened to Hate-a-Palooza that the Republicans and Donald Trump put on in New York City, and that joke about Puerto Rico, a joke about the trash in Puerto Rico? I mean, that was just pure racism. Why'd they shift so hard to the right? Oh, wait, you have an 87 IQ. I shouldn't ask you for an answer. I apologize, Roly-Poly Martin.
Absolutely. And so what do you think your life is going to be as a black or brown immigrant coming to this country when white immigrants had
Oppression.
a hard time coming to this country?
F white immigrants.
Yeah, F them. Because if I say F black immigrants, y'all call me racist, right? Again, it's the shoe on the other foot. If the shoe doesn't fit, then you must acquit, to quote Johnny Cochran, to paraphrase. But this is the way that they are able to behave. And people give them carte blanche instead of calling them racist. No, I'm flat out saying this woman is a racist.
Basically screwed us. They might have been treated badly, but they weren't treated that badly. And my point is, don't throw them in the mix with us. This
Separate but equal.
It's specious.
It's not, because I'm saying if it was bad
That's
for
a
white
big
people,
word
what
for
do
you.
think it's going to look like for black and brown?
About white people at this point.
Ooh, yeah, you don't give an F about white people because you're keeping it real. You're keeping it black. You don't want to follow Martin Luther King when he said, "May my children be judged by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin." You want to judge people by their skin color. You are just a mean person. And this is the type of people that they have on Roly-Poly's network. This is what is dividing America today. These people.
I don't give an F about white people. I try not to cuss.
There you go. Say it again.
I've been trying really hard all evening. I'm not missing your point.
Okay.
I'm not missing. With all due respect.
Okay.
I'm not missing your point at all. What I'm objecting to is throwing white folks in with the way that we've been treated.
No, I'm not doing that.
I object fact that white immigrants, they white. Whatever.
They white. They white.
My point is, it was bad for them. What on earth do you think it's like for African immigrants and Latino immigrants?
I don't know. Nigerian immigrants make more than the average person. They are actually one of the highest earning subset of Americans. So you tell me.
That is my...
Julian, let her make her point.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Nola, finish.
I think you have...
This person says 3 sources close to Harris are expressing concern that Harris's path to victory may be too narrow to overcome. One source of the Harris Friends and Family Party says, quote, "Her path is so narrow and she is not doing what she needs to do in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. The exit polls I saw hours ago are all accurate. They need to subtly outperform those. Don't believe that will happen." Asked about this, a second source close to Harris told me, I 100% agree. The path to victory is very difficult. His numbers are higher than expected in counties where he should be losing by larger margins in Pennsylvania and Michigan. A third source close to the campaign said, "I think we're losing."
That's good.
This.
Report
Now,
that as good,
why am I
Roland.
saying that? Inflation is high, food is high, gas is high, all this stuff is high. Trump was so much better when he literally was the one who killed it. And Biden-Harris repairs this economy. So in many ways, this to me...
That's why 4 years later we've seen rampant inflation, because Biden and Harris cured it, right?
Feels like, the reason why it feels like 2016, in that Democrats inherit an awful economy, fix it, put it on the path of recovery.
Yeah, we all feel that way.
America
And by the way, there were jobs numbers that came out post-election after Donald Trump ascended and took control of the White House that said that they lied about the job creation numbers. Everything is just propaganda and lies, and they tell you don't trust what you see, don't trust your pocketbook, believe us when we give you the fake numbers.
Towards Republicans thinking they're going to make it better, they kill the economy, and then Democrats fix it. Oh, well, let's go back to the person who killed it. We think that business
right on.
6 times can actually fix it. And then when you look at what the numbers look like, you're like, well, what the hell were y'all thinking?
It feels like 2016 for me because whiteness is on the ballot again.
Whiteness is on the ballot. That's what it is.
There is a quantitative and qualitative value of being white in this country. So in 2020, whiteness as a concept wasn't on the ballot because it was two old white men.
Yep.
This year is a black.
Like 2016, who was on the ballot? Was it Hillary Clinton? Whiteness was on the ballot versus Donald Trump? Interesting case. That's why it feels like 2016, because you've got an 88 IQ. One better than Roland.
Whiteness and gender wasn't on the ballot.
Absolutely. So this year it is a black South Asian woman that's on the ballot. In 2016, it was a white woman on the ballot, but it was a white woman on the ballot who was casting her lot with the Negroes, right? That's fully don't understand the backbone of whiteness and its inherent value in this country, the premium value that someone is assumed smarter than what their mediocre self actually is because they're white. Because there is
That's the only way I've earned my keep in life is because I'm white. I mean, just imagine if I wasn't, I'd be on the street, snorting opium and heroin and taking fentanyl. Thank God I'm white.
Intellectualism in whiteness, right?
There's an intellectualism in whiteness, but none in you.
There would be no America were it not for black labor. What we know is there would be no White
Preach it,
House
sister.
were it not for black labor.
Why do they call it the White House? Isn't that racist to call it the White House even though it's painted white? Don't you think the colors of the White House indicate racism?
There would be nothing were it not for black labor. There would not be
We owe everything to you.
Without black labor. And so we don't need to continue to repeat their tropes. We need to rewrite the story. But
what they don't seem to understand is that to white people, we're all immigrants unless you're white. Okay? So they don't care how
Yeah, my dad, who immigrated here from Eastern Europe, he was just welcomed in with open arms because he was white. No, because he was brilliant, because he was a theoretical physicist, and he actually made something of himself here, despite coming here with absolutely zero.
many felony convictions he has. They don't care he tried to overthrow the government, anything like that. They're saying
he tried to overthrow the government.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
He's going to protect us from these other people who are eating dogs and cats or whatever he's saying. We're going to go
Glad you
with
admit
that.
it.
If they're concerned about economics, then they will vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. Okay?
No,
they're
she doesn't
using
understand
that-
economics. She
they're
wants
using
to
economics as a
regulate
as
everything.
a cover to really vote for white supremacy and vote for.
Yep, that's what we voted for. He figured it out. I voted not for my economic pocketbook, not for world peace, not because I wanted freedom of speech and not my kids to be mandated to take a vaccine that doesn't work. What I actually voted for was white supremacy. This dude figured it out. He nailed it. Let's give him credit. Let's get him the Nobel Prize immediately.
Donald Trump.
Okay. The Trump campaign feels very good about Pennsylvania. Why? They're slicing into dim margin in Philly with voters of color and workers. Trump is poised to flip Center County home to State College because the Joe Rogan effect among young men. Strong performance in Collar County's Philly suburbs, and a silent Harris woman vote not panning out. No, but I sit here and I'm like, how exactly does a working class voter vote for a party that literally passes laws that do not help them?
Be more specific.
It does help them, doesn't it? In the one way that matters. Whiteness.
Whiteness.
Whiteness is a terminal disease.
Ooh, again, let's do the shoe on the other foot test. Blackness is a terminal disease. I can't get away with saying that. But looking at these people, if these were my only samples, I would say that. But I have great black friends that are awesome. Not these people, by the way, in case I wasn't clear. And I couldn't say that because it wouldn't be true. But if I did say blackness is a terminal disease, I would lose virtually everything. They would try to cancel me. They would write horrendous things about me. But they are able to say it because racism is allowed from blacks.
This country will break apart.
The B is for
one,
bigot.
I'm looking forward to it because some debts are blood debts.
Mm-hmm.
Clark used to say, when blood calls blood, somehow blood always answers. White women are answering the call today. They're willing to sacrifice their autonomy for us. They're willing to sacrifice that if it means that their whiteness will be preserved. William Barber.
I'm working to preserve whiteness. That's the only thing I'm working towards. Preserve whiteness,
in the
please.
late 19th century, because the goddamn crackers went to the poor whites and said, we won't give you a job, but we'll make sure that the niggers ride in the back of the train.
Ooh.
And they said, okay. Donald
Yep.
Trump.
Deal with the devil. Deal with the devil. We don't care about advancing our lives. We only care about suppressing you and keeping y'all down. That's the reality.
Felon, sexual assault. His brain has leaked out of his ears in full public view over the last 4 years, and over the last 6 months, it's become an
Yeah, because y'all shot him in the head.
embarrassment to anybody who thinks rationally. But whiteness is not rational.
Blackness is not rational.
We don't know what's going to happen.
She on the other
Congress
foot.
may very well pull this out.
Yep, she gonna. And then you're gonna retract all your mean statements?
Marching forward to their demise will say, I would rather die than give up my whiteness.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about whiteness. You racist.
About my granddaddy. He used to say white folks gonna be white folks
No
until
question.
they are.
No question.
Exactly.
And I was hearing him whisper in my ear as we're going through the night.
Wait, y'all had a conversation. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm a multitasker.
All right, yeah, that's true. Well, let's
Get your 300-pound ass to the restroom.
Who thinks she's gonna win?
I'm praying. All I'm doing
We
is
got it in your hands?
Cut to the chase.
Let's cut right to the chase.
Can we just go back to
Here's the
2020?
thing.
Well, no, go ahead. Well, we go back to 2020. Well, go ahead, Mike. And then,
Yeah,
first
so-
of all, let
so
me
that-
just say this for the record.
Okay.
Fuck the New York. All right, go ahead.
F anybody who doesn't agree with us.
AP's maps are better, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
The New York
Yeah,
Times
they give us a
voted
chance.
Yeah, but
And
in a handbasket
forever.
on a
that'll
pole.
put. So
There's still a chance.
Well, I mean,
It's actually about
88
The story of the evening is Latino voters voting for a person who has announced that he wants to mass deport Latinos.
No, anybody who's here illegally, especially those who've committed crimes. But, that is way past the line for you guys.
The story of the evening
Absolutely.
is that group apparently paid no attention to his rallies, where he, of course, vilifies them at every turn.
That's all he did.
2016, what did he say? They're rapists and murderers.
Mexican.
Right? We knew from the
Not
start
Mexicans.
what his views are about that
We know
group.
what he is.
Those coming across the border illegally.
Right? They did the thing with, it's the same old thing, over and over again.
Sure.
Right? They did the thing with trans, it worked. The Democrats had no answer. Democrats have no answer because the LGBT lobby gives them a lot of money to say nothing in these moments.
Yeah.
And they said nothing in that moment.
And there's a lot of tolerance.
And they lost.
Which doesn't work in this
Right.
society.
And so,
Tolerance does not work.
Support.
Except for Richmond, it's about 10 now. That VP isn't speaking.
they keep
Oh,
saying that.
is that what you're hearing?
That's on
Diane? Well,
Twitter. That was
give
on
us.
Twitter
They kept
about
saying
10
that,
minutes ago
yeah.
that VP Harris won't be speaking at Howard University tonight.
You've been Richmond. There he is at the podium in front of Douglas Hall. He's speaking.
We still have states that have not been called yet. We will continue overnight to fight to make sure that every vote is counted, that every voice has spoken. So you won't hear from the Vice President tonight, but you will hear from her tomorrow. And go HU and go Harris. Thank you all.
I am here. Yes, we just heard Cedric Richmond, Harris campaign co-chair, come out.
That's an
and do what
auspicious sign
a John
for
Podesta
Harris
moment
voters, no
from
doubt.
2016, where he asked us to sort of go home and wait to see what is going to happen next.
Did y'all win or lose in 2016? I can't remember.
Talking about all night, Roland, this does take a long time. With a race this tight, with implications this severe, this was likely not something we were going to find out tonight. It's going to happen overnight. It's going to happen in the next couple of days. But I was sort of feeling this kind of energy earlier, and sure enough, this is just what happened. The crowd here streaming out. I've never
Bracing
seen
for a
a
loss.
crowd of people leave as quick as I'm watching them leave now. But again, they have been dedicated supporters of Kamala Harris. They have been here all night, hoping to hear positive news from her on her presidential race against former President Donald Trump. But what they
Current
have
president.
heard is that it's going to take more time. And
That
again,
is over.
We will just have to watch. We will have to wait. There's no telling what happens, Roland.
So there's
I'm pretty
no
sure
way
that
for
you
us
know.
to know how this will unfold tomorrow.
This is just a watch. This is a wait. And we'll see what's going to happen. But
We
the
don't want to
answers
deal
are
with
not
reality.
coming,
If we ignore
tonight
it, we
or-
can
or
deny
rather
it.
This morning.
All right, y'all. So we return. Certainly, probably no surprise there.
Yeah.
And we know that our path is more narrow, and that doesn't look the way we want it to look. But the bigger question is this, and this is what I've always asked as a reflective, praying person. Will the grace run out? See, for a long time, this country.
Yes. You mean for the United
has-
States?
Yes.
Oh yeah, they've never had grace.
For a long
Grace is
time. Well,
project.
we had grace, and that's why we're standing here, whether we should be or not.
Who is we?
We breathe.
As a country.
We sitting
Well,
here.
are we talking about
we're
black
gonna
grace?
talk
Are we
now.
talking about black grace?
We're going to talk now. We're going to tell people how we really feel. We're going to take the gloves off. We're not going to just talk about Whitey in these purely negative terms. We're going to turn it up about 10 notches.
For the
Oh,
last
no,
200
that was just give us a sense of what the House tally is. Is
So
Jeffries lining up to
it's
be the
looking
Speaker?
like, based upon the projections right now, it looks like Democrats will take the House. And
Another great prediction, by the way.
Hakeem Jeffries
right on,
will become
right
the
on.
first black Speaker of the House.
87
So what that
IQ,
means
roly-poly.
is that Democrats control the House. They can thwart a legislative agenda of MAGA. I saw a report. Ted Cruz was +6 with Latinos. He lost to Beto O'Rourke. He was -29. That's a 35.
Doesn't look like your propaganda is having a lot of effect on the Latino population, who are more conservative and family-oriented. You got to put those Marxist ideas and stick them in their brains at an early age, which is what you're trying to do with the schools today. Trying to make them realize that, like you, because they're people of color, they're oppressed when they come to America seeking something better than where they came from. And I've lived in Mexico. I've seen these people. I know these people. I admire these people.
Point shift.
That's what Lauren was talking about.
A 35-point shift.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
All of these stories,
How could they?
all of these
How could they
stories
betray us?
For 2.5 months was on black men.
Yes.
What nobody talking about the Latino vote.
Hello.
And I guess that's maybe one of the reasons why I have a ridiculous amount of peace. I knew it would be hard. I knew it was close. I know this country has a woman problem, and then we dare do a black woman. And I'm just saying woman because to me, black, brown don't matter because we have a woman problem, right? And so
There's got to be a problem to be addressed.
None of this
To explain the
is,
loss,
I
it's
don't
everybody
know
else's
where
fault,
we
not
are right
hers.
now, but for the people who are watching, we are in the United States of America where the bondages of slavery and the vestiges of slavery are still here, and we have no reparations. And even if we had reparations,
It would never be enough.
could not repair the breach.
Exactly.
Where we live.
So let me one second. Several different media outlets are now saying that Georgia has gone to Donald Trump.
But you had the black belt there.
With 50.9% of the vote to 48.4%. Looks like he will win Georgia by about 127,000 votes, which now means that the path for Harris narrows. There are now 5 battleground states left, and that is Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and then, of course, Arizona and Nevada. So if she wins Nevada, Arizona, she's sitting at 243. He's sitting 251.
There you go. And she's got to win 2 of those 3, right?
If he wins Pennsylvania, he gets 270.
No question.
So even if she
A lot of red
wins
on that map.
Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania takes him to 270.
She wins
So
Pennsylvania.
she has to. So if she wins, if Philadelphia comes in, Pennsylvania takes her to 262. So she has to win. You win Pennsylvania, it's 19 electoral college votes. Then you got Wisconsin, Michigan. You win one of those, you win.
Okay.
So the bottom line is, he wins Pennsylvania. Again, that's if she wins Nevada, Arizona.
Right.
Okay. So the bottom line is, let's just.
But at the end of the day, I will just say this. I think somebody should say this. I think that the vice president did a really good job. She
Fantastic.
actually surprised me a few times. I think
She completed a
overperformed
sentence.
in terms of her stamina, her spirit out there. The
All those days she
energy, the
took
whole
off while
thing.
Trump was out
The
there
way
as a
this campaign
78-year-old man, just putting the pedal to the metal.
was put together. This was 103 days.
Absolutely.
They're going to try to dismantle parts of the government.
That's right.
And it does look like the House is going to go for the Democrats. That is a difficult situation because the House does not control everything, but they do control the purse.
Trump, if the numbers stay where they are, and again, Republicans are literally saying they could take all 5 battleground states.
Right. It's actually possible.
What it says is that this country, or little more than half of the country,
Right.
didn't give a shit that the man tried to overthrow the election.
Right. That's right.
No.
That's right.
The fact
They're reveling in it.
and
Democrats
so
are famous for making mistakes.
Right.
Democrats do not play ruthless.
That's right.
I mean,
They are only playing ruthless. What do you think all the lawfare and attempt to put Trump in jail was? And then to try to assassinate him, not to mention go after his compadres and put them in prison, which they did with Peter Navarro and Steve Bannon and his lawyers that have been disbarred. They don't play ruthless? Are you smoking crack? Are you from that inner city Baltimore and that you get that on a regular basis? Because what you're saying simply ain't true, sister.
Democrats always try to be smart, or not smart.
Oh, it's
try to
you
be
again.
Nice.
Yep.
We want to
Nope.
follow the
No, you don't.
Constitution,
Yep.
but these other
Fake
people do
news.
not follow
Fake
the
news.
Constitution. We want the rule of law, but they don't care about the rule of law.
Yep.
And so
Nope.
we get screwed as Democrats again and again and again. And it wouldn't be
Get off the
bad
plantation
if
then,
we're screwed,
sister.
But we're all screwed. Black America is screwed.
So I'm back at Pennsylvania. 93% of the votes in Pennsylvania. It's showing a 224,000 vote lead.
That seems insurmountable.
The vote, can she make that up?
Don't know.
The answer is no.
Hard. Like when you look at Georgia, there's been a lot of voter purges that's happened since 2020. When you look
You mean
at
people that shouldn't be on
Wisconsin,
the
there's been
be able to vote at all?
Where there's been hundreds of thousands of people removed from the polling, from the vote rolls. Is white people are being told to go vote. We're the only communities being told not to vote.
How about that?
But you know what? I
Clearly, the
maintain
economy
optimism
is what happened.
Even though whether she wins or not, what her candidacy has done is it's taken us a very long way. When you talk about a woman of color as president,
Who the DEI candidate who gets installed without anybody voting for her, and in 2019 won exactly 0 delegates. It's taken you guys a long way, considering the fact that that's the way that she earned, quote unquote, her candidacy.
nominee. That's taken us a very long way. If she has a very narrow loss, it suggests something about potential.
The loss wasn't narrow, sister.
At all.
Not at all.
I'm not disturbed. I know where I live.
So
in these United States
Not
of
as
America.
disturbed at all.
I
That's
know-
not
I've been
evidenced
living here
earlier
all
at
this
all.
time,
Exactly.
And I don't like it, but as Monique says, you know, it's a choice. I could sell my spit and take my happy behind to Ghana, and it would be a happy behind too. 'Cause
Then
I'm
go
over
there. Yeah, go there, burn your passport, and stay in Ghana. I've been to Ghana. It's not my favorite place in the world, But you can go to Accra, Ghana, and have a good time, I guess.
Anyway,
Again, I think that I think what people have to grapple with is people made voting decisions that were utterly delusional.
Well, remember.
Because we disagreed with your outlook of the world. Because you, with the 87 IQ roly-poly, get to dictate how everybody else must feel. Therefore, it's delusional to potentially disagree with you. There's no trying to delve into somebody else's mind and see the world from their standpoint and how their experience is. No. We're just delusional.
Misinfo and disinfo, remember.
No, I got that. But
what happened tonight in America based upon rational choice theory.
Exactly.
And I don't think there's anything rational with how people voted.
There's the point.
I don't.
All he said it was a bad economy. He made no specific points.
No, he didn't. He said nothing.
Right, nothing.
Nothing, not one thing.
Has untreated syphilis.
But nobody,
He said nothing.
No so-called
That sounds insulting.
president can quote lower inflation.
Yeah, you can. You stop printing money.
Who effed up this entire time? The New York Times, the two so-called papers of record, the Washington Post that was too cowardly to do a damn endorsement, and the New York Times was always soft playing.
Actually, it was much more heroic that they didn't, because Jeff Bezos didn't believe that Kamala Harris was right for the job, but it's cowardly because we didn't kowtow to you. Rather, we stood up, as the Washington Post might state. The media didn't do enough to help Kamala Harris. The media was all she had. Joy. Kamala is joy. Donald Trump, bloodbath. He's preaching for a fight.
Donald Trump the entire time. So who makes people accountable on exactly what you just said? His vagueness, his craziness, his lunacy. They're not doing it. And then
No,
you got Elon
they didn't highlight any of that.
That's feeding these people misinformation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly,
Like the Hunter Biden laptop.
Voter thing. We got most people in this country never went to college. They never went to college. That's a rare thing. Then
No, it's not really.
You know what? It can't get any worse than this. Let's blow this thing up. Which is why they vote for Trump.
Wait. No, go ahead.
I was in LA a couple of weeks ago, and at the train station, and this sister asked me to move my stuff. I spread out, and we started talking, and she was telling me that Kamala was a communist, and I said,
She is.
Where did you hear that? She said on TV. I said,
She wants equity. She went on national TV and released a video that we must all end up in the same place because equity. Of course, you know how many vice presidential positions are available. Everybody should end up where she was. No, she wants to be the ruling class that gets to decide what the peasants get. And she preaches equity.
So I asked her, I said, well, she said, don't you watch the news? I said, I do. She said, what do you watch? I said, MSNBC, CNN, and Roland. I said, what you watch? She said, Fox. And she said, Tucker Carlson said that she was a communist. I said,
and she
you
is.
Believe that? Blah, 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 blah. Right. And she said, well, why would he say it if it wasn't true?
Why would MSDNC say things that aren't true over and over and over again? But those are the prize networks that we must pay attention and listen to, that we must revere.
I mean, and she was adamant. I mean, I was praying for my friends to come because I didn't want to have to cuss the lady out because I didn't know her.
Yeah.
And so I was waiting for my friends to come pick me up. But she was absolutely adamant. She even said, if you're going to have an attitude, I'll move. I'm like, see ya.
The white one?
Wouldn't want to be ya.
It's a white woman?
No, this was a sister. Oh. This was a woman. She had white hair.
So
Whitey.
She perhaps receives some form of government benefits?
I bet she all did.
Black people in South Carolina said, which white man can beat that white man?
Which is old.
It's all about color.
If you go,
all about race.
Black people sat there and went, all right, this
Aight.
white supremacists, crazy.
White supremacists and crazy, go on, denigrate, go on, call everybody delusional, don't figure out why people voted for Donald Trump.
Deranged, who can beat them? And they were like,
Joe, because that's what I said.
This white man right here. And this is what people I think kept missing. It kept missing with the black voters in South Carolina. Black people ain't stupid.
They're pregnant.
Black folk go, we know white people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
And we know which white people can beat white people.
Right.
And so now you begin to ask, okay, what actually was at play here? Donald Trump brings this, I want to burn this whole shit down mentality. People go,
Good.
I want to burn this whole shit down too.
Yeah, right.
Not
Right. Preach, brother.
He actually doesn't want to burn it down.
Yeah.
His whole deal is, I'm about to hook up all my boys and everybody's rich.
No question.
And that means that they're not going to vote for an ambiguously black woman with a Jewish man for a husband with no children, who is on her, it's a very late first marriage, who...
The fact that she has no children actually is a big deal for me. I want people that are invested in the future, regardless of race, color, or gender.
Also has allegations of infidelity with Willie Brown.
I also think we shouldn't forget the fact that this was a 103-day campaign.
Absolutely.
That she was
Absolutely.
that she was thrown into. That's a really difficult situation for anybody. In a tough situation because Biden's staff didn't tell us what his situation was, and we found out at a debate, Roland. We found out on live TV that, oh man, this guy can't run. We did. We found out for the first time that this guy can't handle it.
We all knew
we
this
kind of knew
for the last 2
but
years.
That moment was the moment.
Let's keep it real.
We knew 77 plus 4 was 81.
Stop. Wait.
At the Christmas party.
No, stop. No, stop.
No, stop.
Wait. No.
That's funny.
No, we knew.
Yeah.
They didn't know.
We are smarter than all them.
Matter that Donald Trump, who is clearly mentally unwell,
I think that's confession through projection. You are clearly a man who is mentally unwell.
who performed fellatio on a microphone.
He was pooping on himself with a diaper.
Exactly.
Here's why.
Are you talking about Joe Biden?
Because even with all that said,
Yes, sir.
he looked energetic.
And then we have to just be honest also about white privilege.
And that's all it was, white privilege.
There's a certain cachet that still comes with it.
Thank God for my whiteness.
Are going to control the House, so therefore Jeffries will become the first black Speaker of the House.
Thank God for that.
My goodness.
There will be they will be able to stop a MAGA agenda. You can't get it past the House. It can't go to the Senate and get passed.
Right.
But you are going to see significant damage still being done. I'll say this here. He lied about it. He denied it. But I'm telling you right now, Joe, folk like you are going to be real busy when these federal workers get fired because they don't sign a MAGA pledge.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to sign a magical pledge to be in business with the federal
I'm not
government.
talking about a hot civil war, but a cold civil war with a different logic. And we'll see how much they believe in this world.
I guarantee you that during Black Lives Matter, you were one of the one making trouble. Marching in the streets, that's fine. You got the right to protest, even though I don't agree with it one bit. But I guarantee that you were likely somebody who was instigating violence or throwing bricks through windows. You just have that air about you.
Claim they want when we embrace it. It'll be like the Second Amendment. And by the way, everybody get their strap. Let's see how much you like that.
Oh yeah, get your strap on. Yeah, you threatening violence, biatch.
No. Very serious about this.
First of all,
yeah, right. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
First of all, everybody got to remember. After Trump won last time, fucking black gun ownership went up.
Come on. Responsible black gun owners.
That was it.
They're all over the city of Chicago and Baltimore.
So this is one of those moments where I think black folks might say, fuck it.
Exactly.
This the shit y'all want? What you want? All right. Black folks like, all right. All y'all broke ass white people, all y'all Latinos, all y'all Muslims, y'all can have this shit.
I think we were already
Because we all disagreed with you. Because every single group that you mentioned there disagreed with your paradigm of the world. And for that reason, these delusional people, y'all can have this shit. Well, don't ask us for anything. I want you to earn something based on merit. Not what you want. You want to take over.
I'm just saying. I'm telling everybody right now. Y'all already know the meme that was created when I was at TV1. Hashtag we tried to tell you. I'm telling you right now.
Because you smarter, roly-poly.
When shit go down, we gonna be saying, we tried to tell you.
But how do you grapple with what Erica?
Zapata County in Texas, along the Rio Grande in South Texas, went 71-28 for Obama. And it went 61-39 for Trump.
Mm-hmm. They learning.
So
Sexism, that's all it could be.
They're white.
They think they're white.
There you go.
Come on, Charlene. Come on.
They do not view us as minorities.
We.
That's what the Second Amendment.
We as black people. The reality is, we as black people, we have always saved this country
every time.
But again, to your
That's the only reason we're still here.
and as far as saving it, I personally am tired because if you think that I'm going back out on Black Lives Matter Street in a pussy hat like these people did in 2020, you got another thing coming. Because I didn't do it then. Because there were a lot of us wearing the pussy hats.
There you go. And NBC is calling Pennsylvania for Donald Trump.
YMCA. YMCA. Take that, Roland. You roly-poly fat ass. 87 IQ MFer.
I will never use the word president with his ass.
No, of course not. Deny reality. Therefore, it can't affect you.
No, ain't no for now. I ain't calling his ass out. If it's one thing that Democrats are excellent at, and that is, it's fretting, it's freaking out, it's
Start freaking.
sort of stuff like that. But there has to be a reckoning.
Has to be.
And when we say a reckoning,
yes, sir,
I think it has to be a really, really hardcore, deep reckoning.
Like another Black Lives Matter riot for 3 months.
This is a reality. In the last 3 cycles, Dems ignored what was happening with Latinos.
Because they walked off the Democrat plantation that you are the masters of, and you demand that everybody work for you rather than thinking for themselves. You just think too much because Democrat voters are too smart. And the problem is that they got smart and they wised up and they voted for Trump rather than just listening to you.
How many media executives tonight
Oh, they're salivating.
are elated
Mhm.
with this election result?
And journalists. You know how many journalists got famous over Donald Trump? Because
Wait.
You know how many journalists did books, got famous, made money off of Donald Trump?
Yeah, by the lies that they told.
I'm telling you right. I'm telling you right now.
But see, I'm gonna
Russia,
say
Russia,
this.
Russia.
The reason the media, these media folks,
They want this.
they are
want
like,
him.
we are about to have a shit show every
single day.
So what about
What I want to say is what happened tonight, I can't think about in the abstract. I think about a lot of my colleagues who are scared right now about their job security, who have been in the government for a very long time, and they won't know what's going to happen
Doing nothing.
come January. Well, they do. You know, people do know what's coming. It's going to be very real pain felt by a lot of people that look like us in this room. It's not an abstract thing. It's not an abstract thing like, you effed around and now you about to find out. We about to find out too. Some of us sitting in this room.
No question.
You know, the pain will be felt.
Good.
Especially those
Y'all
of us
racists
that are
deserve it.
outspoken, that have stood 10 toes down and put it all out there on the line. So the pain will be felt. Last thing I will say, this has set white supremacy up in a way in this country that will be felt for a very long time.
Yes.
That is what won tonight. And
It's all
then
one
I
white
don't know
supremacy,
what the
that's
next
it.
steps are. I know personally, I need to take a few days.
Y'all are black supremacists. Every single person in that room is a black supremacist who hates whitey. That's the reality. Tell me in the comment section if you think I'm wrong in any way or if you agree with me, please.
This is a lot.
Sure.
I need to take a few days. It's a lot. And then
This is a different MAGA that we've
Understandable.
never seen before. This is not the same MAGA.
No.
When they're talking about deportation and putting people in cages, they're not talking about just cages. They're talking about camps.
No
They're
question.
talking about internment camps.
No question.
They're going to have to talk to the Latinos. They're going to have to talk to everyone. There is going to be a reckoning. Like
MAGA is a continuation of white supremacy that started before 1619 in this country.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I recognize.
Mhm.
Like, you know, with,
Mhm.
you know, Christianity, we talk about familiar spirits. We talk about things that are familiar. I know these familiar spirits.
Very Christian
and
of you.
my ancestors defeated it. So that is why.
What I'm saying is, we're talking about nuclear war.
Yeah.
Thank God you don't have the finger on your finger on the red button.
We might be, we talking about domestic. This is, and no, I understand. Hey, I gotta get up and sit down. But well, we all gonna be in the middle of some shit that nobody can walk back.
Here's why.
These people are delusional.
The house is burning. I can go try to grab this fire hose. I can try to grab an extinguisher, or I might have to sit here and say, let this shit burn. Because what's about, but again,
No, we talking about the
follow me
world
here.
now.
You have to then allow other folk to go. You see that shit happen? Did we tell your ass what you
Mm-hmm. You're the smartest man on earth, Roland. Way smarter than Elon Musk.
Yep.
No.
But I'm only
No, no,
to
no, no,
remember
no,
when
no,
some of
no,
those
no,
people
no.
were white.
There's some folk you got to sit here and
White,
go,
white, white.
Oh, I
Mhm.
ain't about to stand up.
But our
What you
common
ask-
humanity, man, I mean, the story.
Sometimes you literally got to do this here.
You on your own.
So what do we do in a situation where, as we said,
Last 90 days, right? In the last 90 days when Vice President Harris embarked on this, you had, you know, the Adam Kinzingers, the Denver Rigglemans, right? Two decorated, you know, heroes of this country that just happen to be congressmen. You know, both Air Force, one, you know, intelligence also. In a world where not one, but two Cheneys are supporting a Democrat, should have been the wake-up call that.
no question.
Yeah, no doubt, because the globalist warmongers supported Kamala Harris. We want more wars. We are stupid. We want to kill people. That's Dick Cheney and his lying ass daughter who committed crimes regarding the January 6th committee by coaching a witness.
There is no more GOP. There's
Hitch your wagon to that star.
There is literally only MAGA.
Yeah. So they actually had a primary. And that's what we're not really talking about. We didn't have a primary.
Let me finish.
No, you didn't. You installed that witch.
And when, you know, my guys, and I say my guys as the Republicans for Harris, because we, you know, we put it all on the line. We said, fuck it, we here. You know, we
Republicans for Harris.
Wait. You first. We said, fuck it, we here. All right? Yeah. I agree. Let the motherfucker burn down. Where's the camera? Rand. We've been friends a long fucking time.
Oh, man.
I'm gonna need you to get back to the core these next 2 years.
Lord have mercy.
I'm gonna need Rand Paul
He's
to
gay.
get back to his core this next 2 years. It may not happen. It's not
Leave it
gonna
in the comments if you agree.
But if there's any
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
body, you cannot look a Donald Trump in the eye and allow the atrocities of civil liberties to be trampled on.
First of all,
You and Chris Christie?
they have no morals, no values,
No morals.
no principles,
No values.
no ethics, no integrity. It's
Mm-mm.
power.
Preach it.
And so what I'm saying is, so the
That all
reason
lies
I
with
say
you
gotta
black
let
racists.
that inter-party fight. Okay. So all y'all who want to kiss Trump's ass, all right, now you got your boy. Now they actually, again, first of all, the presidency has not been called, okay, but they about to fuck around and find out. And I'm saying sometimes you have to let some folk find out.
And knowing that this person is see, it's not even just about the vice president. It's the person she's running against is so unworthy. It's the lunatic she's running against. And they chose him over her.
We sure did.
America has a history of completely ignoring somebody who's sane for someone who's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so they have fallen for the greatest lie. They literally believe this man is an economic genius when he can barely read.
They do not believe
And you can barely put a sentence together, roly-poly.
So why do they vote for him?
To be an idiot. They know he committed.
I'm not asking you, so why do they vote for him?
I'm going to say it one more time because it's all I can say.
I told you why we voted for him.
This is America.
Right.
Okay? And we have a woman problem. Right.
You have an intelligence problem.
And if we know it's been proven we have a woman problem.
We do.
It has been proven. Greg, can I please? I'm gonna just whatever. No, I don't really want you to teach me tonight. I just want to share.
Okay, hold on. Finish your point.
I just want to share.
No, go ahead.
Okay. The fact that we for real have only had these two major candidates, and obviously both Democrats, to ever even be in shouting distance of this job, and we are behind 59 other countries, right? We have a woman problem. But what I'm saying is we have a woman problem, okay? And what we also have in this country, obviously, is a race problem. Right. But what we also have
From you.
is a comfort problem. Because we're talking about everything the Dems need to, and this comes up every time.
She's about to cry.
Everybody starts talking about the Dems need to do this, the Dems need to do that.
Right.
And I say, what about us?
And it's starting
what about
already.
us? What about us?
Right.
What about us?
Right.
Because us marching to get the right to vote, like the answer to it was not to just vote and sit on our asses and belch. We were supposed to keep marching until we had all the shit you get when you march. So when we didn't get George Floyd,
All the shit when you march. Get all the shit when you march. You mean every single demand that you make met? Reparations?
we were supposed to be beating the streets. When President Obama was disrespected as the first black president and did not get his Supreme Court pick, and it was stolen, which led to the very Roe v. Wade fight that we're fighting now. Instead of being pissed off because we didn't like his choice, we were supposed to hit the streets. When I'm having fights every day, like I struggle
You are mentally
to
deranged.
convince people that talented, brilliant, educated, caring, non-felonious, sane, black and Asian woman
Who's she talking about? I know it's not Kamala Harris. There were too many positive adjectives for it to be her.
was better than that degenerate. Right. I had real fights in our community. When you look at how hard it is, y'all, we celebrating tonight because it's two black women in the Senate at the same time.
I know.
We clapping. Okay.
Latino men in 2020, Biden 59%, Trump 36%.
Right.
Latino men in 2024, Harris 45%, Trump 53%. A huge shift from D plus 23 to R plus 8.
And it's not
That's good
the
news.
black part.
They wised up.
I'm just saying, and I'm not saying the black part isn't a problem.
But I do think, again, I know I've said it 4 times, it was an extraordinary situation that this vice president was put in when she had to run a 100-day race.
Yeah, but she did it
I
really
frankly
well,
think
though.
she did a really fucking good job.
They ran.
She raised $1 billion.
We can't blame it on that. We can't blame it on that. They ran a great campaign, and she was running against
But she had no idea in June that she was going to be running for president.
But it didn't matter.
I think she did.
Enough people knew enough about him where that would not matter.
Things to happen. First and foremost, I think Joe Biden should resign the presidency and make her president tomorrow.
Thank you.
Make her
Yep, we need a black female president who with a 90 IQ.
There's still something
Slightly better than Roland.
But secondly, there's something that's coming up that we haven't talked about. He's going to be sentenced in state court on 34 felony counts. So we could very well be looking at a situation between
Supreme Court.
Well, wait.
Supreme Court is going to
Wait.
Stay hopeful. They'll throw him in jail. Don't worry. Don't stall Kamala. They'll find a way.
Now, the electors are free to do what the fuck they want.
No.
Not if they're Trump electors.
They are.
Independent state legislature is
That's not where I'm going. That's not where I'm going. What I'm saying is this. You very well could have faithless electors that say, hey, I don't want a president that's going to be sitting in jail.
He's not going.
You're talking about constitutional crisis.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Well, they'll at least win, and people will vote for Kamala.
and a race problem. It is also a feelings problem. I feel like the economy is bad. I feel like Kamala Harris did a bad job as vice president.
Reality,
She has
reality,
the power as vice
reality.
president to do the presidential things because she's not president. I feel like women can't do the job. I feel. And that feeling has been metastasized by way of the First Amendment being abused.
Yep, you got to take that away. That's the one thing that I advocate for so strongly, because we have the First Amendment. You see what's going on in England, where they're putting people away into jail for Facebook posts that the regime disagrees with. But these people are claiming that the First Amendment is being abused, and thus somebody like me, in their eyes, belongs in jail. And that's why I could never side with you.
Broken and scorned.
Thumb up if you agree,
right?
please.
Right? So it's a feelings problem. And until we feel like Donald Trump is a bad person, until we feel like the GOP got me fucked up, until we feel like, hey, maybe the Democrats were right. Hey, maybe Roland
About what?
is right. Maybe talking to myself, maybe I actually can do something about it.
And the other thing is, I'm not for saving these motherfuckers. Seriously. Because you voted for this son of a bitch.
I don't need you to save me.
You voted for him.
Yes, I did.
And some of us
I went out of my way to do so, too, from abroad.
The country, saying, let this shit, the hell with this.
I would say there is no more Republican Party as of today. The Republican Party is now
Good.
the MAGA Party.
Yep.
It's now
I hate the Democrats, but I'm not fond of Republicans either.
Donald Trump. It's going to survive long after Donald Trump. He now has an heir apparent in J.D. Vance. And long after that, he has Josh Hall. He has so many people now. And Gen Z and people like me have never known a regular Republican Party. We've never seen a Bush administration. We've never.
We all left on the battlefield. We did the best we could. And, we'd love to fight another day.
Lauren.
I'm praying for Vice President Kamala Devi Harris. We are not yet at calling this race, but she
right
ran.
now is at 267.
Yeah,
So,
the fact that someone like this could run and be running while convicted, running while degenerate, running while amoral, running while confused,
While running smarter than the average bear.
Found liable as a rapist. Says everything that needs to be said about the threat that we're under. So, because we promised you that this was not a drill, and now we indeed are about to find out.
Good.
John
FAFO.
says the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. That's the A part of it. And he's here. I've been very clear about who this person is. He is the son of a Klansman. He surrounded himself with such people. And to never forget who sold the robes of the Klan.
So echoing, thank you so much for the Bible verse, because I keep on saying all I can do is pray. And from the day before to today to tomorrow, that's all we can continue to do is pray. We do have a woman's problem. And I pray that one day we surpass it. Today might not be the day, and tomorrow may not be either.
Definitely not the day.
I know. Maybe we just care about our community. Maybe we start tomorrow just focusing on our issues. We stay.
Like the fact that every single black kid, unfortunately, in the inner city is not able to read at grade level, or is barely able to, does not do math. I think Baltimore schools have a 0% proficiency rate. I'd say that would be a problem to investigate and concentrate on. Care about the individuals that you are raising. This is what good parents do.
Black. This country has codified race into our legal system.
Yes.
Yeah, with DEI, affirmative action.
Fabric of white supremacy is
black supremacy is what you want.
In a country that's grappling with white supremacy, it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican, you still are grappling with white supremacy. And if you are white and you are a Democrat, you have to do the work this time.
Yep.
I want, as a black woman,
Dumbass.
for me not to encounter weathering, which came out in a study a year and a half ago that says my internal cellular structure is deteriorating because of effing racism. Right. So say all
What? Do you not think that that might be propaganda getting you to hate more? Maybe put out by Roland Martin's science department?
Tonight, if it bears out that she doesn't win this presidency, tonight she is facing the fact that this country could give a damn about the vision that she articulated, because for them, patriotism means white supremacy. Absolutely. And for us, it has always meant that that is our enemy. And I think we need to take heed of that and look forward and say everything everyone has said needs to be poured into our blackness and into our institutional formation.
Blackness,
We move
whiteness.
forward to see what happens.
What are you concentrating on? I can't figure it out.
To align with other nations in electing far-right, crazed, deranged leaders. And what you have to understand is that, and I'm going to keep saying, is that this is white fear. This is absolute
White fear.
fear.
I actually do have reasons to fear you. You've stated, one of your panelists stated, that everybody should strap on, and it was certainly directed towards white people. You hate white people. You say that whiteness is a scourge, or whatever word that you chose to use, a disease. Yeah, I do have reason to fear you. That's the reality. Because you're so hateful.
The future changing of this country. So what you've seen tonight is this country has decided that, you know what, Trump, those are our values. In fact, he's actually poised
They
to
are.
win the popular vote.
Good. Y'all didn't predict that, did you?
States like New York, New Jersey. Harris barely wins those states.
Saw those white
Margin
Latinos.
than what Biden did. When you look at the numbers, look at what the country decided. Country's decided, we don't mind if you lead an insurrection. We're good.
The fake insurrection that y'all made up?
If you steal classified documents and lie about it and don't return them, we're good.
Like Joe Biden?
We don't mind if you cheat with your company. We're good.
You valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, as Letitia James did, when in fact people would pay hundreds of millions of dollars for it. And thus, the real fraud is on the Democrat lawfare side.
Because you're going to bring back the good old days. It's
The good old days. I like good old
The fact
days.
of the matter is, Trump inherits an economy fixed by Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna,
All Democrats.
claim credit for all of it. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to say, oh, it came back all because I'm coming back.
You're such a prognosticator.
You better be scared to death when he literally lets Robert F. Kennedy be in control of science and health.
You know that Robert F. Kennedy actually wants fat people to lose weight? I guess that's bad news for you, roly-poly.
Oh, you better bring back the mask and everything else.
The
There's
mask.
about to be a lot more people who ain't vaccinated. And when
Uh-huh.
polio comes back,
Polio's going to make a strong
and some of
comeback.
these other diseases that we conquered a long time ago come back.
All because of Robert F. Kennedy.
Raised, deranged, anti-vaccine person in charge. Well, there you go.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Understand, all of the same people you had before who served as guardrails, they won't be there.
No, they ain't.
Truly are going to have a cabinet and administration of zealots, individuals who have
People
no
that want
business
merit.
holding on to power.
Get rid of DEI.
So America got what it wanted tonight.
We sure
and
did.
America is going to get what it deserves.
I hope so. We deserve the best.
When he drops his tariffs and all of y'all asses go broke, I don't want to hear shit.
You told us.
We tried to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, when your ass start choking
Look at that ugly mug.
and your water tastes like crap, don't come holler at us.
We won't holler.
Oh, by the way, when your raggedy ass state
Raggedy
go
ass.
ask a fool with the education,
We go axe a fool.
please don't come holler at us.
Mm-hmm.
And again, all y'all white women
Make sure it's racial.
who on birth control,
Mm-hmm.
Don't come holler at us.
Mm-mm.
This Supreme Court targets that too.
Ooh, no, we won't.
All of y'all who said, oh my God, the nation is on the wrong track.
It was.
By all means, enjoy.
We will.
This inauguration.
Thank you for your permission.
Dance in the aisle. Go dancing in the streets.
Only if you do it to YMCA. That's the song I want to be playing for you, Roland. I want to be outside your house and be playing that all night like the BLM rioters and protesters did around the neighborhoods around the country. Those Rent-a-Riot, organic revolution. Organic in quotes.
But I'm going to tell you right now, ain't no way in hell you think we're going to be silent.
Wouldn't expect that out of you.
We going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
And so y'all can play it cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, all of you working class people.
You talking to me?
I can't wait till the corporations start laying your asses off.
Retribution is what it's called. And that would make you feel good if we all got laid off, wouldn't it, Roland? Because you'd be right. We'd all be out of the job, but you'd be right. That's what's most important. But you was wrong about everything so far, so I ain't expecting that.
So y'all can enjoy your win.
We will. Thank you.
But I'm telling you right now, a lot of you who voted for Trump,
That's
and
me.
you're rejoicing right now.
I am.
There will be tears.
Of joy?
Tears come shedding. You can't cry on our shoulders.
Oh, don't worry.
You
I
can't
wouldn't.
come to say,
Although your fat shoulder
know
would
how
be
this happened.
soft and plump.
And all we gonna say is, we tried to tell you.
Because you was right about everything.
I see all y'all right-wing people comment in the message section. And here's the whole deal. I appreciate all y'all running your mouths because all y'all doing is making me money.
That's really the bottom line, though, isn't it?
Y'all do realize that.
Well, that had to be the most entertaining and deranged election meltdown that I have seen. We heard a man call for black people to get strapped. And it was very much implied, in my opinion, that they go after Whitey. They got to call white people a disease, degenerates, blame everything on white privilege while they have affirmative action and Roland Martin making $500,000 for interviewing Kamala Harris. Some of that money, that campaign money that went to him for a simple interview. And he never disclosed that. But black privilege just might keep him afloat. An 87 IQ fat ass man making millions of dollars, complaining about the state of America. And all those black supremacists that he had on with him, it's the shoe on the other foot. If I dare say something that would offend, they're allowed to say it. That ain't the shoe on the other foot fitting. That is a dichotomy where one race, because they have inherent privilege, is able to say things that nobody else can. So don't tell me about white privilege, because I wish I had black privilege that I could repeat the things that you said. I don't mean it. I want the best for black people. I hope nobody listens to you. I think that you're all a bunch of degenerates based on what you said, based on your actions, not the color of your skin, but by the content of your hateful characters. And I don't care what happened in the past. That ain't happening today. So rejoice in the fact that Trump won. Rejoice in the fact that we have this chance to reset our nation away from DEI, away from trans taking over everything and getting our children to transition and getting caught up in the medical community, being paid millions of dollars over the lifetime of the patient because you confused a teenager about their mental state of mind and telling them, well, maybe you're the wrong sex. Thank God that Donald Trump won. And I want you all to thumb up this video and leave me a comment if you agree with me. You made it this far, might as well do that. And God bless you. Thank goodness for a MAGA country. And have a fantastic day out there. Do subscribe if you haven't, and tell me what y'all think.